What up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? All right, that's good. I am. Oh, here we go. Let's just tilt that. I am True Summer, and I'm here every day. I guess we're cutting all this stuff off, so half doesn't have a connection. Yeah, that's what we're doing. All right, let's
Humans are great at saving things. We save money,
hold
save
on.
seats, save the last dance, and we
What
almost
is this? Did I cut that off? All right. Cha 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 cha. We can do this and we can do that. Let's come on some lights. You know, that's fine. Oh boy, come on. I am exhausted. I was up till about 1:30, and then I was, putzing around. Then I was like, if I don't get to bed soon, I'm gonna miss this 7 o'clock mark. Then I was all paranoid. I had my phone like right in my forehead just to make sure I would absolutely hear you. Yeah. Oh, what a freaking day already. Oof. So we this whole place is a mess. My coffee didn't even turn out the way I wanted it to. Put this here. I know this because it never does. Let's give this. Wow, I rushed this coffee and it's really good. All right, so and I also have like a nose issue I'm trying to deal with. See, we go through this every day. Every day. We did a little arts and crafts yesterday. First of all, I hope I wish everyone good morning. Let me get these out of the way so they don't look so glaringly bad. Ouch. Ooh. See, this is why you got to stay fit. Did you hear that? I just leaned over this way and my knee went crunch. That used to not happen. Like I stretched yesterday, my lower spine, I just went again. My lower spine went crack, 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 crack. So that is all because my rickety ass carcass is not well lubricated, right? So that could be from the regular drinking, the regular smoking. Either way, it has to stop. Yeah, we're gonna make sort of fitness a large part of this. I don't like the way I look on cam. I don't like that I sit down. I got this tubby little tummy going on, and that's fine. It's not where I'm at. So I actually might, oh good lord, blow up the whole dealio with a little light fitness. And since we're here daily, right, a little light daily fitness might do us all good. But not crazy fitness. Like I don't want to be covered in sweat anymore. I just want to sort of run my system through it and sort of get a little, what's the word? Excuse me, what's the word? A little, well, harmony in their life sounds good, but it doesn't really tell you anything. I guess lubrication in the joints, a little more limber. Uh, I do a lot of stuff, right? Let's turn this down a little bit. I know it's going to be super loud. I do a lot of stuff. They're all over the place. I need to be better organized about the stuff that I do, and that's really it. So a little exercise, like, has always been on the platter. Maybe get a little more sleep. Like I intentionally went to bed because I'd have been up at 4 and would just came in like tired. But I'm tired of running around on 4 and 5 hours of sleep. I mean, I can, but why do I do it? I mean, I wake up, I should just go back to sleep, right? Who knows, man? We're all sort of different. We're all told that we all need, what is it, 10, 15, 20 hours of sleep or whatever the case may be. And not everybody's the same. So not everybody needs 1,000,000 hours of sleep. Ugh. This nose, man. Where's that thing at? All right, here we go. Hold on. Excuse me. All right, so this is art stuff. This should be over with the art stuff. But it's small art stuff and it's going to get lost over there. We'll just leave over here with these pens. We're just going to start drawing again. I whipped out a drawing book. Where's that drawing book? And I showed you some drawing stuff. I put it over there. Throughout the years, just like, oh, look, my art books. Here, look at this. Oh, look at that. Here's some more stuff. So, some of it's pen and ink, some of it's black and white, some of it's marker painted. Some of it, I showed you the mock up of the pictures outside. The mock up drawing of the picture of the lady that is unfinished here. I'm actually finished that. I got a ton of stuff to do. Ay, 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 ay. But it is what it is, what it is. And what it is, whew, a Sunday morning, boy. Easy like Sunday morning. So we're not going to overdo this. Obviously not going to overdo this. What we are going to do, and try and just be laid back. And we did arts and crafts yesterday. So we have a new unfinished. Let's review what we did yesterday. So we have a new, though unfinished, grid pattern for we haven't put the numbers in yet, but for the second fret. So by the time we're done, we'll just be able to, oh, that's sort of, did that line up decently? Didn't line up great, but I mean, it is what it is. It didn't line up fantastic. I did freehand it from one to the other. And we need like 5 of these. So here's the thing. All you new wave artsy fartsy kids, you can do that on your iPad, right? You'll sketch this thing out, put it up, knock it out. I mean, I should try that, even if I have to take a picture of it and draw over it. I mean, I know I have options, but you know what? I really need to get a screen wiper. But in order to, was this? Yeah, here it is. And also, we're doing these. I've ran through what we're doing and why we're doing these, which are the penta, major penta. We've been trying to lock those in this week with varying degrees of success. I don't have that many pictures in this. Your browser is potentially unsupported. Here I am, looking charming. Good Lord. This is my favorite. Looking like a freaking gunman. Ridiculousness. My black Jeep, of course. I only drive Jeeps and I only drive American cars. So, I know, here's the thing. Drive what you like. Feel happy with about it. You know, I just like Jeeps. But I gotta tell you, I only have 35 pictures in this iPad. That's amazing. Oh, I didn't mean to shut that down. All right, hold on. I'm going to keep this on so we could do that and timer back up. And this right here. Say, guys, I know it's a slow get up, right? It's a Sunday morning. We're not going to run out and be crazy. We're just going to ah. But remember, you can watch this from your phone or lie in bed, or hey, cut it off and go. I know your spots. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's all fun and good stuff on a Sunday. That's community. That's unity. That's love, right? Go do some of that, and I will be here. If you missed today's session, for that good reason, love and family and friendship and communication, Yeah, I will see you next week, and wish you well for it. I'm envious. We should all be envious. People need people. I'm one of those people who believe that. Not all this fuck everybody. I don't need nobody, because those people are idiots. They really are. They make the world worse. They do. So please don't raise an idiot. And I know we're in an age of single motherdom. And I like to point out to all my snotty single mothers out there talking about men, you're raising all these knuckleheads who are doing all the dumb shit. How are you not responsible? How you blame this on fathers who aren't in the house? You have full and complete control over these daughters, these twerk goddesses, and all these knucklehead, you know, emotionally stunted hipster boys, who can't even stay loyal to their girl for like 6 years. Women who can't stay loyal to their men for like 6 years. It's it's a society, right? We've made a society of immediacy. I want it now, fuck it later. I mean, yeah, rich kids sticking their kids in places where their kids shouldn't be because they want it now. And by now, I mean that congressman seat that, uh, like all Trump's kids, they're all on the board of his company when they were 21. It's like, shut up, you did nothing. Now people who know stuff, who worked hard to get there, has to humor your stupid ideas because you don't know nothing but your daddy's kid, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Your father could have set this up and brought you in, and like we all say that, but in 10 years, you could be a balling ass genius because you learned at the feet of somebody who built something, right? That's not what's going on here. That's not what's going on here. Okay, we don't want to drink too much of this because remember the last time we drank all that ice water. It's not my liver. My stomach just sort of totally rebelled against me. I was having trouble drinking coffee in the whole nine. So, let's cut on the fan. Ouch. I have to tell you, I would rather live, and I was thinking about this a long time ago. And it still messes with my head. I would rather live in a monastery, like not one of these Christian monasteries, or, look, here we go. There you go. Uh, Perfect. Not like one of these Christy Christian monasteries, but like old school martial arts Saturday morning Sundays, because they used to come on Saturday. Yeah, no, it was. Did it come on Sundays? They may have come on Sundays. Um, Martial arts movies that we used to watch on Fox 5 News in New York City back in the day, where I saw uh, like Man with the Golden Arms and Five Deadly Venoms and all that good sci-fi Asian culture, set back in the Ming Dynasty, where this guy had to defend, you know, uh, the monastery from the guys trying to take over the monastery. Meanwhile, here in America, you had period pieces of like the Wild West, people trying to take over towns. So it's very similar stuff, but like they got to do like ridiculous leaps and stuff, and like catch swords with their hands. It was just so good. It was so good. Uh, but yeah, monasteries like that where you think, man, if I could find like a giant like summer camp, like get the funds to buy it, and then just make everybody tech savvy and smart. Everybody who showed up there at the end of 5 years or so had to have like a master's, right? How much you have? Master's is like 3 years above a bachelor's, right? So you bust your ass to get it in like 5 or 6 years to show that you're not lazing about there. And then that's the monastery, right? And sort of an educational, don't be an asshat monastery. You learn, everybody comes in, they learn all the same shit. And by the same shit, I mean, you may have 7 or 8 uh, disciplines, not 100 like all these other colleges. They'd be something that everybody needs. Maybe they change every 50 years or whatever, but they'd be like, I think you always need accounting. And since it's tech, like in the modern world, you wouldn't need to learn how to ride a horse. You need to learn how to troubleshoot your computer just in case you got hacked and you need to download. You know what I'm saying? So all this kind of stuff. But in that environment, you're still learning the standard stuff about living amongst people and doing your share amongst people and having some respect for like the thing that you're a part of. A lot of people just show up and they're just there because someone bought them there and they don't really want to be a part of it. Um, yeah, I actually was gonna. I'm from that, but doesn't matter. I'm a weird and quirky bastard. That's the problem. What I just told you, you have to be a rare person to find that interesting because everybody else will be like, "Where's the TV?" Right? Uh, Everybody would be on your phone, so you can't have a personal phone, right? It would have to be routed to your PC, your laptop, or something, because everybody's walking around like this. So if you block that and made it a laptop, since it'd be like a tech monastery, not everybody can be probably walking around on their laptop like looking at a phone call. They would have to tell you what they told you in the 70s and 80s, right? And like most of the 90s, like I want to say up to 95. Oh, I will call you back. I am doing something, versus take the call. And I gotta tell you, I mean, I'm gonna throw a little bit of shade at you ladies right now. I can't drive around without seeing people on their phone, like mostly women, like on the highway, kind of like it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. I see women on their phones when they have their children with them. Why are you not talking to that child versus whoever the fuck you're talking to on the phone? Now, and granted, you may go, you don't know but you don't know how long that phone call went. Could have been 5 minutes. Stop it. They're never 5 minutes. Trust me. These phone calls are never 5 minutes. Um, Plus, there's hand-free devices and cars. Why are you almost getting into car wrecks? Because and I think some of this is texting. Some people are just goofy. You tell them like it's like the pandemic. Okay, we're all gonna die unless you wear a mask. Fuck you, I'm not wearing a mask. All right, everybody, we're all gonna driving with your phone out is bad. So get a hands free or have it come through your car speakers. I'm not fucking doing that. I'm just gonna drive with my phone up at the window. Or some people just at the light. You're just kind of like. I tell everyone who calls me my car, I tell them I have like a minute or two conversation, get the gist of it. What are the bullet points? What you want to say? Oh, all right, I'll look into that and I'll get back to you. I don't understand driving constantly and talking constantly. I don't. I don't. I know it's a thing we do. Everybody says it's easy to do until you run over somebody's kid and then they check your car uh, brake to see if you were drunk or swerving, that the car computer, and then they match that with there's the light timing, if there's a light or a camera, and if there isn't, then they match it to your phone. Your phone has a movement do wazzle in it, and it also will tell if you were using it. Took a phone call from this time to this time, but nobody looks into that. I mean, that's the easiest way you can get these people. Just like all these hit and runs. I don't get these hit and runs. We're past the era of like a 57 Chevy with no tech in it. I mean, you should be able to go, wow, there's a car hit here. Every car that ran through this zone, let's not ping it, but let's bring it up and see who could have been where, whose phone ran over, because everyone's got a phone. And trust me, if you have a car, you have a phone. People have a phone before they have a car. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't people aren't even trying. The society is lazy and mean spirited. It's full of bullies. So yeah, it's hard to have hope for tomorrow when few people are working for hope for tomorrow and it's only you. Because then you become an anomaly and you look like an idiot. And all the stuff you're building can easily be stolen by you and then kept by them in a corrupt system of, you know, of what this is. Cha 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 cha. I guess that is the morning meditation. So in conclusion, don't be on the phone in your car, and if you must be, get a hands-free device. Not that hard. And when you do run somebody over, do not expect people not to check all your tech shit, all your personals, as they call it. Um, Truly, I find, I find that the people who cause the problems cause most of the problems, right? I mean, you may get into an anomaly situation at the Walmart, at Kmart, at the subway station, at the bus stop, at the airport, and I would bet if the cops had to stop you and look into you, the odds of you being like perpetually causing issues in like the lives would be, I would say would be rare. and you may go, you don't know me. Yeah, most people aren't assholes. Most people are going from point A to point B, enduring the bullshit of this society, right? They're not all protesting and being crazy. Most people, and the government knows this, will do what you tell them. You know, if the government said tomorrow all black people show up as we are reinstilling slavery, only military and cops get what is it level up, I guess, because people will be like, oh shit. A lot of people will be like ready to fight, but more people will be like, I knew these people were like this, and walk right down to the whatever recruiting station you got, and the fight you would have wouldn't be with 100%. It would be like, I'm going to say that number is going to be high, so I would say it's going to be like 20%, but it's still not everybody, and that's the thing, right? If you came up here, well, that's not true of everybody. Some groups don't fight, can't fight, don't have the energy to fight, and that group, I mean, are ladies. And I've had this conversation. It sounded sexist till I explained it, but there has never been an army of women to march on anything in the history of the world. This one or the other ones. And by the other ones, I mean before all this tech, right? Back when there was what was the woman's name who uh, led her tribe against the Romans and cut her tits off? Not her tits, cut her breasts off in front of those people to show that she was not playing. They were like, oh, she scared them all. They all ran away. First of all, I think that story is crazy. I don't think it's true. But you know, men are the violent ones. We are good at violence. Women may want to be violent, but women are not good at violence, right? And men are stronger than women just because the way our bones and our muscles are packed. So that's also why, side note, why I have a reason with all this transgender stuff, transgender sports stuff. So knock yourself out, run around, wear a dress, cut stuff off. It's yours to cut off. Install stuff, ladies. It's yours to have it installed. But I think the boxing, like, especially the physical contact stuff, like the guys. But some of the other stuff is just weird too. Like running guys are more powerful, so we're faster runners, right? The shot put, that lady did the shot put, that's a strength thing. Men are stronger. So I mean, this is the society. You tell me this is what we're doing, and I go, okay, I guess that's what the society is doing. But at this age, I'm just kind of like, nah, I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna be over here painting, enjoying, and I know what you're doing, and I kind of don't care, and I'm not gonna be quiet about it. I'm gonna be loud over here talking to who wants to listen to me. So yeah, this all started with me wanting to, getting so like fed up that I want to join like a monastery, but not a Christian monastery, and not any monastery in some old way. You know, fitness is important. You have to be fit. The thing that I was sort of loosely designing, right? And fit is what I was just talking about. Just a little daily exercise. I'm not trying to get all swolled out like The Rock and live 8 hours in the gym. But you also should have something for your soul, right? Which is why you should learn, like, churches have choirs, which is fine, but what you don't like the choirs. Churches should also teach you music. Churches should also have, soup kitchens, and they don't have any of that. They just collect money. The richest pastor in America is worth $800 million, and you don't even know his name. So yeah, tell me about how he's reaching out to the poor masses. You want to know his name? Let's look him up. His house is online and it looks really nice. I'm pretty sure Jesus will be proud of him. But yeah, just tired of being conned by the Bush dogs. I'm not signing up for the con. Jesus. Why is everything you put in Jesus? Every picture of him is white, looking sad as fuck. I always thought Jesus was a baller. Right? Just because of that, you're supposed to stand up to it, right? You're not supposed to go for it. That's the tenets of let's pull this back there. That is the tenets of Christianity, right? Uh Throwing out the money changers, like talking truth to power to all these people that think they, but now, like the book says, at the end of it, pop a lot of people like, I don't know that brother, I don't know, I was hanging out with him, I don't know what you're talking about, and I get that, right? So the idea is to be the best Christian you can be, is to be in the I'm about to say the cut from the cloth, but right, but of Jesus, right? So you want to be good, you want to be good to your family, you want to be good to your friends, you want to stand up against it. That's wrong. I won't be a part of that. Um, Even like against the horrors of it, but nobody does that. People can't wait to fucking say Christianity. and then sell you out, kick you out of, all this kind of simple evil stuff. No one believes in anything anymore, and that's fine. But don't just say you don't believe. This is why I appreciate the atheists. They're at least saying they don't believe, right? They're arrogant about it, and they're calling you stupid for believing. I'm not for that. You can go kick rocks. What is the name of this pastor? But it is what it is, man. It's all very high school. Um, 8 richest pastors in America. There we go. Kenneth Copeland, yeah, $760 million. Just bullshit. Pat Robinson is worth $100 million. These people are just bullshit artists. This is what happens, right? You take over something. You know the story of I forgot the title of it, but the way you endorse evil and you take over from good is you not sunset it, you eclipse it, right? So first you're not able to stand on the same dais, right, as the good thing. And as corruption happens, you can get closer to the days, and you can stand next to him by having him endorse you or do stuff with him. And then before you know it, you do more of the talking and push him further in the back. Then before you know it, he's gone. And now, in the minds of people, this doesn't take place overnight. This takes place over a while. You have replaced the last good thing, right? Sort of like Palpatine and the Star Wars movies, right? So who did he replace? He replaced the Valerium. The guy has such a good name. Palpatine replaced Chancellor Valerium, who was the last good guy, but I called him weak, right? And then he was his ally. He was like, well, I'll do it for the people, right? He took over. Now he's in power. What are you gonna do? You have no power. We know this. We know what power is. We went over that on this show. The difference, what is power, and the difference between money and power, and why they are not the same thing. If you have money, does not mean you have power, right? And if you have power, you have money. Like, money is a byproduct of power. You don't have to wish for money and power. If you ever come across a magic lamp and the genie goes naming, I want money and power. No. Just want power, because with power comes all that other shit. Because it's power. Great, crazy. You don't need to. It's like wishing for, you might wish for love, but you don't need to wish for women. Women come with power. I hate to say. Sorry, ladies. You may not, but all these other trifling heifers, as my sister used to call them, all these trifling heifers are about it, right? So this is another thing with your Me Too movement. We all know women go to Hollywood and sleep around and end up in marriages to super rich men, or become actresses because they slept with somebody for a role, and then got the part and became superstars. So when you talk about all the girls who say that they were harassed and attacked and raped, God forbid, you got to talk about all these other women who enable this process. And they should have to come out and go, yeah, I did it, but he was cool with me, didn't force me, and maybe his whole career of negotiating with women, hey, you want this role? We can do this, but then all the women who took their job and didn't get the role are now saying he's this thing. I know you don't want to ruin your good name, but 30 years is a long fucking time, maybe, and you've got the money already and the giant house. Maybe you should come across and go, yeah, it wasn't just me, it was a few of us, because it's not just one woman in Hollywood doing this. Good Lord, it's a cottage industry. Turn the other way in. I mean, at this point, it's been in every movie that you've seen, especially on cable, right? There was that movie, Californication. And the woman, there was a scene where they were like, okay, see, she just walked in, took up her top, and was like, I want this job. And he was like, all right, put your top back on. But to act like that is not a thing that happens there is ridiculous. The governor of Florida cheated on his wife, that crazy news lady, and this is a sinister part, Gavin Newsom cheated on his wife with his boy's wife and would see his boy every day. I mean, that is just a sinister type of fuckery, right? It's worse than meeting somebody out in the world and then sneaking away to see her. But it's another thing to look your boy in the face while you're doing this evil shit to his wife. It says a lot. It doesn't just say about sex. It says a lot about the person you are. I don't even know why you made him governor of California, and now there's a recall. Maybe you should be stuck with what you get. But the idea of America is a fucking, the Europeans treat it as a theme park. They come and do whatever here. But I think we're running it as a fucking bed and breakfast, like a hostel. I think everybody who's running this place needs to be banned from government. Give you a shot. Maybe you'd make a better governor, congressman, senator, who knows, president, right? But the people we got now, like Nancy Pelosi, is just getting rich there. It's infuriating. And of course, they don't want anybody rushing the Capitol. How dare you show up here on January 6th and ruin our con? Someone have to ruin it. You're at a point. You're. This is a burning house. So first, no one knows it's burning, right? And then people get the hint that it's burning. You smell smoke, right? That's the first sign. And then people get confirmation that it's burning. You open up a door and the whole fucking kitchen's on fire. It's that. So there we are. If you know anything about Cuba, Cuba was just like this before Castro came to power. There are these people who are balling out of control with the American celebrities and talent who would fly in to vacation in Cuba because, it was warm here on the East Coast. You didn't have to go to California. So once New York snows or whatever hit, they'd all go to Cuba. And all the people in the hunting lands were like starving. And Batista was sitting up there entertaining Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz and all these super rich Americans. And Castro was like, fuck this noise. And that was the beginning of it, right? And the progress that was, you got little Cuba in Havana now, right? Telling you that Black lives don't matter. What? So yeah, this is why I'm not for immigration the way immigration is set up. Because some of these people are ridiculous. And there used to be, I mean, come on, it was a southern state. It was full of virulent, racist evil. And now you don't even talk about that because the Cubans here and they tipped the scale and now they're for the bad guys, quite frankly. So Governor DeSantis in Florida, I know all about the history, so you can go kick rocks. And yeah, you can't get into the Klan, but you're envious, and you really want to be. And the next group, like the Proud Boys, is like that. These new Klan groups, like their leader was a Spanish guy, right? His last name is Ecuador or something crazy like that. They'll hang you from not the same tree, because I'm sure you don't want to be hung from the same tree as, but you're not. And on top of that, he's a snake. He was a government informant. So that implies what? You was a shitty person to begin with that got yourself in with the government. This society, man. You took your eyes off what was important and got, they jiggled these shiny objects and promised you money and you sold us all out. That's what I think happens. I don't think you set out to be a trader. I think like what's that trader who's living in Russia now? Who left with a whole bag of secrets? I think they goad you into it. Before you know it, you're down this road, right? As you walk down this road, the door slam behind you. Now you can't get out. Go back to America and do 1,000 years in a box where everybody gets 2 prison guards because you're so dangerous and are always wrapped in chains. And you spend 23 and a half hours in your room. Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, I can't get a cab in New York City. Okay. All this while California's on fire, but they won't come up with an infrastructure plan. All this while New York City is flooding in hurricane, but they won't come up with an infrastructure plan. They're running cons on Wall Street. They're fully owned by, man, arrest them and arrest all these corporatists and take everything from them. You played a stupid game and you lost. Man, I wish we could get a president who thinks like I think. I want him to do the right thing by everybody, but I also don't want him to leave these sinister people on the table to come back in 4 years and fuck with us again for 30, right? And then leave us to their kids like we're an erector set. I don't know. Telling you to be moral, right? But they're perpetually attacking women at work and then paying them off. You should not be able to pay somebody off for a sexual attack. And you can in this country. So, all right. Sunday. That's your Sunday sermon. If you were here for this counts as church. slash synagogue slash what does the Muslim have? Church, synagogues, and really that shot out of my head. Muslim churches are not called churches; they're called mosque. Sorry, mosque. So this counts as your mosque, your mosquing, and your synagoguery, as well as your churchifying. Right. So we got you covered in all three places. Uh, Having said all that, I gotta wish you well because I think you're up against it just like the rest of us are up against it. Um, like I said yesterday, look, we're countrymen. We're supposed to be on the same page, but you know, we aren't. Fight these wars for these rich people. Won't even break up these giant monopolies. You know, with the money and all the yes people, it becomes sort of like someone's going to have to show them that they have money, they don't have power, right? Being rich in China means shit when you break the law. You have money, you don't have power. Being here, if you have money, you have power because everybody's taught that money is God and to chase it, and the people have it will bribe everybody with it, right? They're bribing politicians, and that whole leak with the business community and the Republican Party talking about how they're proud of Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin for stopping everything. If we don't want it, the whole thing comes to a halt, and the people's kids can starve. When this whole thing breaks open, I just hope that they're not allowed to get to airplanes because everyone knows they have money stashed in offshore accounts. So I'm pretty sure you'll leave your $100 billion, so you don't spend 30 years in jail, and you'll just live on the $3 billion you have stashed someplace. Ugh, this place, man. I don't see how it's got. Well, I do see how it's gotten this bad. I just don't see any help on the horizon. So, wow, that was quite a Sunday sermon, wasn't it? It's only 7:30. We've been streaming for 38 minutes. I have yet to pick up a guitar. Again, this is we're gonna rename this thing. Also, daily guitar practice, and other stuff. Perhaps only give you 99 characters of freaking put in this thing. So we're gonna call it 20 minutes. 20 minutes daily. I don't even know what to call it. But I got to get some more stuff. I mean, at least look. Perhaps you want to take a cue. Take it from YouTube. YouTube gives you 3,500 characters to describe what you're doing here. So it should be at least 200 into the script, and you can have a about section. Yeah, but 100. No one says shit in 100 characters, man. Just like no one can game if the fucking video goes to butt and then stays that way for like 25 minutes. I like this restreamer, but come on, guys, seriously, hire me. I'll help you out. I talk big and I'll recruit hapsters. What are you gonna call us? Happenstances. Yeah. So I don't know. The whole environment is ridiculous. Plus, society doesn't like people like me who will tell you what. Look, more people like me tell you what you think respectfully illuminates the landscape for you. Versus, I don't want to hear from anybody, which lets you operate in darkness. And eventually, you know, the darkness comes for you, right? I mean, don't be so arrogant. I was telling somebody, but like, don't be so happy to think, I mean, don't be so arrogant to think that this place won't have another revolution. We're founded on a revolution. We're a land of guns, right? Because you're doing well and you support law and order because you're doing well. Better watch it. I mean, they're gutting all these big cities, all these homeless people in California. Well, you think they set out to be homeless? They weren't homeless 30 years ago. You fucked the system up. And now you're demonizing everybody who's fallen off, right? And that's the thing that I always say. You always get to hear about the middle class, but if in our tribe, if 100 people walking across this imaginary plane, our tribe, you know those people. Some are cops, some are firemen, some are X, Y, and Z, teachers, doctors, whatever, right? As you walk across this plane, let's say the hunting is the same, and before you got a little mutton, a little venison, a little, I think mutton is venison, a little venison, a little beef, and a little chicken for your family. And the more you know, maybe you were rich in the class, you got a lot, but you know, some even the people in the back got a little bit. Now all those little bit pieces are extra scraps on the rich people table that they don't even eat, right? And then they built up their security. So but that 100 people walking across the desert, and the middle class, let's say, used to be 50 people, and then there were 25 above and 25 below in varying stages, doing well, doing really well, uh, rich, really rich, super rich, right? And on the other end, uh, doing okay, doing poorly, homeless people, then people following, trying to like, so that now that middle class, which was 50 of us and 20 from each side, that's like 65, 70% of people. And the middle class is, I'm sorry, not say it's smaller. It's like, let's say it goes from 50 to like 35. And all those people who got pushed out didn't get pushed up. One or two of them got pushed up, but most of them got pushed out of the middle class. And now you're hungry, you're homeless. All these people who would never have been homeless before because they were working are now homeless, right? And then the media just says, only still talks about this, like nothing has changed. We're still talking about the middle class. No one talks about how the middle class has shrunk because that would fuck with their narrative. So you talk about the middle class, and this guy who's angry, who was once here, who didn't care about the other people, who now he's one of them, is complaining about it. He doesn't get the mic because you don't interview the homeless, right? The middle class, people who are about to fall off the middle class. You only interview the middle class. You're going to college this year. Oh, you got this new job. It's always implying that, oh, things are just ticking along, and you watch. The middle class is going to shrink again, and there's going to be a whole lot more people, out of it, and on the custom of that, homelessness, alcoholism. But in the fat meat of that, in this fucked up, broken system that you made, it's not organic. In the land of guns, I think people are going to come for you. I really do. Yeah, not going to be happy to sit around and watch the kids starve while you buy $100 billion yachts or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, and to act like in a land where not everybody, but they're talking about not enough people serving the military. Give me a fucking break. A lot of people have served in the military. This country is 350 million people. A lot of people have served in this military. Most of black people I know. Do I want to say most? I'd say a good percent. I want to say a good chunk of black people I know have served, and I'm pretty sure a good chunk of white people have served. I can't tell you their numbers because I don't really know them. But we're all supposed to be brought up on the same ethos. So you would have to have gotten rid of the American ethos of this flag and freedom of speech, and we all hold some of them higher than others of them. Like I'm really a fan of doing whatever the fuck I want because I like to paint, I like to draw, I like to go where I want. And there's some issues with that because racism, and the government hasn't tackled it. Right, that's another thing. We still have racism around because people drug themselves out of the middle class on the backs of other people. Right, people got to be senators on the backs of other people, and you've been preaching hate against other Americans forever. So when this whole thing rips open, maybe the guy who saved this place will tell you they've been playing both sides or all three sides for suckers while they let people who don't want to be Americans here because what they really don't want to be is living in Iraq, right? And now they're here hating Americans, having kids. It's you've sort of crippled what we're doing here. If we were ever doing anything here, and if we weren't ever doing anything here, then why the fuck am I listening to you? See what I'm saying? So the whole thing is I think it's precariously perched. I really do. So we'll see what happens when your cell phone, and mind you, they'll follow you by your cell phone. Here's the last thing I'll say about this. In this modern era, Dr. Kings do not rise, right? Because they're already in your apps and know what you think. I'm pretty sure if I ever came to anybody's attention, they pull me up in every tweet, every picture, everything that I've ever liked, so they can get a nice psychological drama of me. And I'll tell you what I'm about. I tell you all the time on this thing, right? I fly that flag. I don't like the bad people here. We need to fix the border issue. I'm not for immigration because I mean a lot of fucking racists who could have been left where they were. So yeah, but I also know like shifty chicanery when I see it, and I see that all in Washington D.C. And so we'll see what happens. Because man, more and more people are hungry. I drive around here, I see a lot of people holding placards. I'm just kind of like, what happened? And I'm reminded of the 30s when they evicted all these people. We have an eviction. The eviction moratorium is over. They're just not covering it. There are people out on the street with all their stuff. I could be one. You could be one. I mean, never for the grace of God, right? Um, so now Hollywood, now California is handling this homeless problem by just clearing them out and moving them, just like with trucks and cops. Okay, so they're going to be homeless someplace else. You let this get ridiculous. Uh, New York City is supposed to be a working class city, $3,000 rents because they want not foreigners. They want uh, when I say foreign, I mean people not from New York. I don't necessarily mean people out of the country. They're more than the people who were there. So now people are going back home because the subways is flooded and $3,000 rents, and my dream here is over. Okay, now I'm New York watching. A few years, New York is gonna have come live in New York. We will float your first apartment for a year and all this desperate shit while they say it with a smile because they gutted it. And I will tell you, New Yorkers, as an ex-New Yorker who lived there, grew up there, left very recently. Find your slice of heaven someplace else. The country is like open space. You don't really need foreigners to fill it. I don't know what you do. Everybody has Wi-Fi. You can do it anywhere, essentially anywhere. Uh, as long as you have good connection, don't move to a place where there's shitty connection, like in a valley, and your phone don't work. Uh, we should be insisting on, not just internet service in the Appalachians, but fucking 5G internet service in the Appalachians. They just don't care. I mean, God, they so need to be arrested, all of them. Um, and that is where we are. So I ended yesterday's show at 7 because I was supposed to have somebody come through, and they never came through. So I was so pissed off that I ended the show at 7. Right? I was super pissed off that I fell for this shit again. I should have just stayed online. Um, Ordered a meal. I was like, all right, he's gonna come by. Ended at 7:30. Ordered a meal. Okay, come by and pick it up in 25 minutes. 25 minutes comes and goes. I'm like, God damn, I'm gonna have to wait here, miss picking this thing up because he's an hour late. Then I got yelled at because that makes sense, I guess. You're an hour late, but it's my fault somehow. The environment doesn't make any sense to me anymore. Uh, so yeah, I think we're gonna change a lot of shit here. We're gonna change a lot of shit here. Uh, I mean, I'm talking about in the coming months. We're gonna be here because this is day 23 of a 1,000-day session. We're gonna be here anyway. Um, Learning guitar. Yeah, I'm not so much gonna concern ourselves with the outside world unless the outside world collides into this tiny little spaceship that we're doing here. Like I said, we don't do celebrities, we don't do, but man, you can get pissed off by doing the right thing, and then somebody fucks with your day, right? You have to learn how to figure that out without punching people in the face. Uh, I would love to have that either a stoic approach where like nothing bothers you, or just this sort of giddy approach, laugh everything off. Either one of those is fine, but where I am, I cannot remain. And I'm doing well. I'm moving away from the bullshit, obviously. Don't watch a lot of TV, never watch murder or something like I'm obviously searching for something. And I think I'm sort of doing good with, at least I feel good searching for it. I don't know if I'm finding anything. I'm finding music, so that's something. But man, we were talking about it. Maybe the solitude is bad. Maybe like that thing, I should go make friends. But like I told you here, the problem with me making friends at disadvantaged age, people are stuck in their ways, and I'm this way, and I like to talk. And people who don't know conversation, don't like to talk, are a problem. Then you got to wade through those people. Then you got to wade through the people who you got it wrong on, right? Who you're like, uh, and I just don't want to wait. And plus, on top of that, like I said, people have baggage, which I get, but usually it's stuff that I have no reference for, right? It's their wives and their husbands and their children. I have no reference for that. And at my age, their children are anywhere between, well, I guess anywhere between the day one, right? And about 35. So 35 is grown ass man. You got your own opinion. I don't want to really talk to you about hip hop culture again and why it's weird. Um, and ask, I mean, there's kids out there. Ask good and interesting questions to get to the bottom of stuff because I'm that guy. I want to ask a million questions to know why things work the way they do. Some people don't want to do that. They just want to. I don't want to say coast, but some people aren't inquisitive, right? They exist in the world as it exists, and they're fine with that, and that's fine. Don't get me wrong, I'm not judging that, but I'm saying some people want more sounds patronizing to what the people I just described, but let's say who want other things. I want good conversation, always a little powwow session, questioning stuff and figuring out stuff and accomplishing stuff. I want to set some goals for like a group of people, not me person, but somebody set a goals for. Great, you know what we need? We need more guitarists in the world. Let's set up a little neighborhood this all over the country. Okay, I'm for that. That seems to me to be both a good thing a Christian can do, and I'm trying to get back to Christianity, right? A good thing a Christian can do. It doesn't seem full of shit and just taking money, and it also seems like a good thing a patriotic citizen can do, right? I'm not finding any of this shit. I'm not interested in showing up at your church and giving you fucking money and hear you tell me a story I heard 1,000 times with your own interpretation. And you're, I don't know, I'm mucking around with the women at the church. I'm just completely fucking over you, right? All those things, that no one cares about. Be good to your neighbor, right? Gluttony is a sin. Take the Lord's name in vain. We do it all the time. But all these things, I'm not saying be a little robot, a little religious robot, but I'm just saying the big ones. Don't cheat, don't steal, be cool to your parents, be good to your homies, try and be a good neighbor. Those, people aren't even doing those. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, wear hats and women can't wear shoes and listen to your man. I'm not saying any of that. Argue with your man all you want. But I'm saying the community is suffering. We should be doing spiritually Christianish stuff in the community, and no one is. No, it is. And like I said, you want to twerk on Saturday and go to church on Sunday, that's fine. The black community is a wide diaspora. I'm talking about the American black. I'm not even talking about before you add the African Americans who are from Africa and from Britain and from the Caribbean, right? Caribbean Americans or British. What are you gonna call them? British Black Americans, right? No, they just sort of blend in. And then as soon as you start talking shit that you're connected to from 400 years ago, they want to tell you how that doesn't matter anymore. We're not the same thing, right? Just because John Boyega's here and talking shit, just like who's the guy on Comedy Central talking about race relations? All right, you're just reporting on it, but people have lived this shit. I wish you would give me a job where I could sit here and pontificate about fucking the Jews' struggle. They would be absolutely livid. Why is he over here? You know what I mean? It's just a way to, and that's another way. That's a way to remove the actual person and put in someone else to eclipse them. All these black people from foreign places who are not connected to the pain and the struggles of the 400 years of us being here. They just get to show up, read a press prompt, and go, "Hey, look, I got dreads," but you're like, you just showed up and you showed up here on a plane, and you don't, man, it's fucking infuriating. And black folk who are not bothered by it are asleep. All this violence in the community could be avoided. I think, and I say this before, if there were some fathers in the community, and by fathers, I mean, not just, my dad was a good dad. Like, I mean, nobody's perfect, but he was a good dad. I loved my Uncle Sonny, my Uncle Julius. Right? I was surrounded by all these men. They'd have a beer while they barbecued. I'd run over. I'd have a ginger ale with them. Oh, he's having a nail. They all laugh at me. That kind of energy is good energy for young boys. You have a pantheon of men in your family that you can look to be like, not your mother's brother and his homie. And a lot of these guys are just catty like women. They fight at the drop of a hat over the most ridiculous bullshit. And then they don't want you to give them up in the community. Don't snitch. Fuck you. You're the problem. Don't snitch. Get him out of here. Maybe if we got more of you out of here, the neighborhood wouldn't be. And they're all sort of shitty, bad neighborhoods. The neighborhood wouldn't be horrible. I had a plan, like when I moved out, I'm only going to live in mixed neighborhoods. And I did that my whole life, right? Black and white, black and Hispanic, like not all black neighborhoods. Yeah, but get gentrified out of everything in New York. Have faith in who? In who? Biden? No. Pelosi? No. Schumer? No. All 80 years old, all too old for the game, all don't know what's going on now, who are controlled by young people in their 40s and 50s and corporate people who just want to build their own fortunes and could give a fuck about your kid or your kid's sexual harassment at school. No one's talking about all these professors who sleep with these students either. Yeah, you'd be talking about that. Nobody. Some people are protected. Nobody's talking about all these doctors who fuck with these nurses. Yeah, it's these things are only Hollywood, or it's man. You could. I mean, it's sex. It's a primal thing, right? You could do this in all agencies, or I just think that you should be right about it. You should fix it and not use it for brownie points of, oh, this is what's that guy? Weinstein, right? Like Weinstein and Bill Cosby were the only two people in that whole town. If you're gonna fix a problem, run through and fix a problem. You're gonna fix a race problem, run through and fix a race problem. Nobody's fixing anything. I don't even know if they. I think that Kathleen and wouldn't even attempt it. I think it's for money. I think we have 50 senators and 300 might be a little fun, 340 or so congressmen. So that's about 1,000 people who are just fucking this up. And then there's their underlings and friends and business interests. I figure about 5,000 people you need to go and ask questions to fix this fucking place. Not the 300 million of us, about 5,000. And once you get probably the first 200 at the top of this thing, all those other dudes fall into place because their access to power is gone. Remember, they have money, they don't have power. And you have no power to challenge their power. So whoever does what I just said, it has to go. And this is why I think they're going to have to be military people. It's going to have to be someone in the military going, these fucking fucksticks have taken too much money from China. No, right? Or we have a joint Chinese American, and they're going to sit here and they're going to be like, nope. And I'm going to be like, oh, let me just stand the fuck aside until this dust settles, because this is one of those things where, as a country, a citizen, it's out of my purview. I'm not an elected politician. I'm not a soldier. And not just that, I'm not at that high level of eliteness where people go make the decision, generals, I'm assuming, where they have to save the country, right? Or from these wild civilians who just are politicians. And I say just are politicians. They're put there by business, banking interests, and all this bullshit. The military is not put there by business and banking interests, right? They get in like everybody else gets in, sign up. And from all across this great land, they break you down and make you a soldier, right? That shit is amazing. That shit is amazing. Think about how many wide variety of people there are in this country. Some people can't hold a gun, right? Because some people never held a gun. Some people are afraid. By the end of that shit, you're firing in like an AR-15. Or do they still use M16? I don't think they use M16s anymore. But anyway, I mean, it's they. Yeah. So, I mean, give them credit. So when they start their moves, it's like the Civil War. I'm like, oh, here comes the Union Army or the so-and-so army. They got shit to handle. I hope the good guys win, whoever I think the good guy is. And let me stand the fuck out of the way, because I don't know anything about military stuff. I don't know anything about how to run a country if they solve it, right? I mean, that's the joke about that January 6th thing. They're like, insurrection. Oh, get the fuck out of here, insurrection. Who? I'm going to follow this guy's my new president with his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk? Really? And so is all the military people just at the Pentagon just going to mill out with their Christian uniforms and their hard-won medals on their chest and ranks from private. I don't think there's any privates there, but you know how great a private you have to be to work at the Pentagon? You know what I'm saying? Everybody who works at that Pentagon is elite at their rank. So they're all just going to come out and salute him because he took it without a shot. Shut up. It's the media always telling you, oh, they're coming to get you. That stay tuned for more. Ooh, they're coming to get you. And it's always been with them content. They didn't report. If they really wanted to report, there's stuff that they leave alone, like that sex stuff with Epstein, right? And the president. They left that shit alone. They leave the sex scandals alone in Hollywood, and there's a lot of sex scandals there. And it goes back to Fatty Arbuckle in like 1918 or whatever that was, right? So yeah, I mean, now all of a sudden they're surprised, but they can keep you distracted by going, oop, the blacks are doing this, oop, the blacks are doing that, and this is why you still have this race energy, and why white folks can come here from Europe and slide right in like we're the same country, and we're not. We're fucking not. So yeah, you want people to die for this thing? You want America to get back on where it was? Okay, but why would I build it back the way it was when it was such a horror show for me? Why would I do that? I don't know. All right, boys and girls. We're going to kick this thing off. It is, we have been talking for an hour. Oh man, whew, and let's give me props. I was 10 minutes early today, right? We sort of figured out the Haps app. You can't have anything else running, so the pictures are right now, which is nice. But once I open up another browser, you want to see it? Da-da-da-da-da, the picture slides, and we're going to test how long the picture slides for. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, let's open it. Hour. Oh man. There goes the picture. So we know. Let's close it. We know what we're doing. Yeah, there goes. Your internet connection is unstable. Yeah, this only happens when we bring in. Ooh, that's not good. Put this back and put this back. So we're back to. All right. So yeah. That was actually not that bad. Maybe I've been squawking about it so much that they put a quiet intern on me. Because again, Haps, I'm gonna be here for 1,000 days. Show me some love. Send me a cool ass T-shirt or something. We're gonna start this thing. We've been doing it for an hour. We got a little political talking. That's why I want to change the name of this show. Right, 20 minutes or so of daily guitar practice and politics, or whatever. Day X, but that's what I have up here. I think it's all the chirons I had with all. It would have to be one giant run-on sentence. Maybe I could take out the AM session and call the AM session the A session and the PM session the P session. All right, the A session will be, someone would say asshole session, right? So you can't call it that. Here come the broids. Oh, sweet Jesus, my nose. All right, excuse me. Cha 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 cha. Blow your nose. Y'all don't want to hear this. Y'all don't want to see this either. All right, I just want to see something right here. If this is right. 2, 3, 1. Yeah, that's wrong. Wait, no, it's not. Skip. Right. Okay. Skip. Okay. 4, 8. 8. All right. So this isn't wrong. I'll put it like this. Okay. So this isn't wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. All right. Yeah, that's not wrong. So what are we doing? We're learning chords. We're gonna run through this penta again, which is just smacking us around and treating us really badly. Uh, like that girl in high school that we couldn't help but to like, and now we have an issue with dating high school girls. Boom, boom. That's not my joke, but that's a pretty funny joke. um, so I don't know why I think that joke is funny. I think the joke is funny because it plays on two things. It plays on you assuming that he's talking about having been hurt in high school, and then you flip it around and you say, "I don't date high school girls anymore." Then it totally takes up. Never mind, forget. If you have to explain it, it ain't funny. Yeah, we're gonna have a little more of this because it's Sunday. Sunday shows always go longer. Do I want to stick my crusty feet up here? Yeah, we do. Ah, it's a good day, man. You know, you see, give me that. You see all these people, right, throughout history, and you're talking about all the problems of their age, right? And I would wonder why didn't people solve it? Yeah, I mean, you learn later that once you stand up and go, this ain't right, you become the target, so nobody can rally around you. So you keep blowing out the candles of freedom and democracy in America as it shows up, or buying them off, right? And like I said, Dr. Kings don't rise anymore because they're all up in your emails. They know if you're cheating on your wife or doing buying weed or whatever it is, buying coke. They know, so they'll use it against you. Someone leaked it. Oh, yeah, whatever. You're in people's. You're unauthorized, but you're in people's email. But that's fine, right? But what happens when your crispy clean and you don't cheat on your wife, right? You have like your Jimmy Carter, right? You went to Annapolis, so you were an elite student when you were 18, going to like this military college, right? Married your high school sweetheart, married 75 years. Now, if Jimmy Carter got started, let's say 30 years late, still the great man that he is, they'd have been trying to allude to he worked with this woman. They took a business trip. We're not saying anything happened, but we're nudge, nudge, wink, wink, saying shit happened. It's this kind of like sinister fuckery. And quite frankly, if I ran for office, like look at me. I'm a shitty guitar player now, and an avid smoker of CBD. What are you gonna tell me, right? Not running around with women. Even when I was running around with women, I wasn't running around with every woman, right? I have loyalty in my bones, right? So, what would they say about me? Probably bring up my porn history. I have a porn history. It is the internet, right? It's not weird. It's normal, but it's still something that you don't want to discuss. But why? Because it's men and women doing stuff online, and you shouldn't be watching it, right? Why weren't you at church? They'll bring that up, right? And everybody, I don't think it'll work because, like I said, it's the internet. Then they'll bring up what ex-girlfriend issues, and ex-girlfriends will say anything about you. They're your ex-girlfriends, and they won't look up the ex-girlfriends who are like, "What? Nah, he was fine. It just didn't work out, and I wish him well in the world, but I find it hard to believe that he hit women or he did, and mind you, there won't be any record of that, right? But they'll just allude to it. So you get into all this stuff, and I've got some angry emails from exes, right? And someone leaked his email. He called her. When I argue, here's the thing about me: if I'm arguing with you, I never curse, right? I want my argument to be pure, and I don't want you to get sidetracked with what the fuck you call me, right? So I never curse at you. I never call you stupid. I'm like, come on, man. The fucking idea is, so I mean, curse, though, fucking idea, but it's never, but all the conversations I see, you get completely off what you're talking about with the insults and the fuck yous, and you ain't gonna do shit. But like, hey, what were they originally arguing about? So all these kind of weird loose tricks you learn to navigate in a violent society. I don't think that you or I, as good as we are. But I don't know, man. That might be changing because I think the secret is out and everybody thinks that they're full of shit. So now, like Nina Turner, they're pulling every stop in the book so she doesn't, and this is the Democrats, so she doesn't win. Because they want to say they're for you and then run it. We know exactly what you need and then do whatever the fuck they want for you. Like that whole Juneteenth holiday thing. Just kind of like, so what? Everyone I know is like, so what? Every black person I know is like, oh, okay, I guess that's good. I guess no one wanted it, no one expected it, no one cared. You know what people want? Accountability for these police shootings, actual laws that people have to. But it's not. They're never talking about laws. They're always talking about bullshit. So yeah, you're gonna give me a holiday no one asked for. You're gonna talk big about this black child who just won the first, but she's the first. Oh look, this guy, he's the first. Oh look, so and so wrote a book about. None of that helps me. None of that shit helps me. And it's all a diversion, and I can see it. And I tell people all the time, why are you listening? But they aren't, what's the word I'm looking for? They aren't as engaged in this as I would like them to be. So I think they get, do I want to say fooled? I think they get directed a lot. How about that? So yeah. But in this modern day and age, they'll be like, Miss, isn't it true that you had a threesome with this woman and this, you are, but meanwhile, people are running around with children and they're endorsing them and giving them money so they can stay in. You know what I'm saying? Oh, good Lord. So yeah, whoever fixes this shit, because the bullshit is blatant. As blatant as the South bullshit was when they were talking about, oh no, everything's fair down here after the latest hanging, right? Bitter fruit. Remember that poster? Bitter fruit. The whole town was out in that picture, and everybody's watching this one guy hang. And I always looked at that and I always said they all didn't hang him, but they all supported it, right? And that's the way I look at it. Yeah, everybody can't put their hands around my neck to choke me out, but in that crowd, a lot of people are applauding it, and this is my concern. I don't think a lot of people will do violence to me, but I think a lot of people will watch violence done to me and be fine with it. So. That's the spicy meatball. Where's these picks? So we are going to enter in. Good Lord, that was an hour and 10 minutes of me just talking smoke. We're gonna enter into the music portion of this daily music practice. Remember, Sunday meals are for fucking cooking it up for the fam. Get all that good stuff out. Surprise everybody. It doesn't have to be super extraordinary. Make, a family size pack of bacon and 12 pack of eggs and make everybody bacon, eggs, and toast. They'd be surprised that you did it. And that's what it is. Little surprises. But yeah, people expect to be treated so special, but then they expect to treat everybody else like shit. And that's part of the problem. I don't want to be treated like shit, but I don't want to treat you like shit either. Gavin Newsom, he's just disgusting. But you should have to be stuck with him because you picked him. This whole stopping people from getting the person they want in office and then undoing the person that the people put in office. I said before, and I'll say it again, America is run by these lawyers who put all this bullshit in play. And all these little countries that follow us just duplicate the shit we do. If we have fixed our black-white problem here, I'm pretty sure a long time ago, South Africa would have fixed its, not China. China is just a wheel of shit on all unto itself. But Israel would have fixed its shit. Britain is just one of the racist places ever. The only Britons you see who are not white on American television are actors, right? They don't talk about any of their social problems. They just talk about the Queen, how we love Britain, and then you talk about the actors who come here for roles, or whoever has a single that comes out of that place. But all the racism in the world you can track back to Britain. Like I always say, ask the Indians what they think about the British. There's a smug meanness about them. Not good. All right, so we're gonna shake our hands out and sort of try and get into it. So yeah. I also don't like how much bobble I'm getting here. This is a new thing. So we have to strengthen all this up. We cannot be. Look, when I become older, much older, I'm going to be a skin and bones, Jesus-looking wiry mofo with a long goatee, walking to this place with a staff, with my stupid limp, telling all y'all to look both ways before crossing the street. All this kind of shit that you learn, like when you're first like walking around, the stuff your mom tells you. Eat your vegetables. They're like, what is that crazy fucking hermit doing? I think he's telling us to eat our vegetables. Call your mom. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's really going at it today. We just warehouse people. I used to work at a psychiatric center, and everybody had to line up. We had to feed them pills just to keep them out. It was just, we just warehouse. We don't solve anything. Whew. All right. Let's get the farty parted. You know how you know it's good coffee? Because your elbow's way up here. So once again, I want to wish all of you a good morning, a happy day. I encourage you to go out there and get some sunshine, get some fresh air in your lungs. Maybe not stand too close to people, but that's fine. And remember what I've been saying, the watchword, but one of the energies I want to leave you with. Come on, no, stop rebelling against my faith. One of the things I want to leave you with is not lead you with. One of the things we say every day here is because of that thing that said people don't have friends. So I want you to go out and at least try and make a friend this month. People are gun shy and weird. People have been smacked around just like you, and they're a little gun shy, right? And society has replaced all this love and loyalty stuff with money, right? You don't need people, you just need money. That's a sinister ploy, and it's going to get us in a lot of trouble. But while that's all going on, where is my nail clipper? While that's all going on, you will still need to meet people. Like, for instance, you can't plot against the government by yourself. You need somebody to talk shit with, right? I mean, don't want too many people to talk shit with when you're plotting against the government. Just like 3 or 4, and you can play poker and talk shit and be like, Nancy Pelosi sucks and so sucks. But let's leave it at that. Don't get all Gretchen Whitmer on us. Those guys are gonna do so much jail. They're gonna do so much jail. They're gonna at the end of their life, they're gonna owe jail. They're gonna the amount of jail they're gonna do is doing jail is my new adjective. They're gonna be doing it. I mean, you were gonna kill a sitting governor. This is what happens when you let these people just run, right? They get arrogant and stupid. We've been killing people for 100 years. They didn't do anything. Yeah, that was before you started targeting politicians. You were just targeting the blacks who didn't give a fuck. But they got good at killing, good at being these surreptitious groups, right? And don't worry, there is no black resistance. I watched these. First of all, I grew up around the Black Panthers. They were like 19, 20. I think the oldest was like 25. Some guys came back from the war, right? But they weren't organized. They weren't collecting real dudes. They weren't building offices. I mean, black dudes never, not black dudes, black, like they never built anything. It always seemed like a money gig. Meanwhile, other groups come here, they get together, they actually build shit. But they are left to their own devices, whereas we are perpetually looked at and attacked and, told no. And this government has a fixation about us black folks. So all these other groups coming here can do whatever they want. All these groups from China, for God's sakes. The more I look at this, I was looking at somebody playing yesterday, and the more I look at this, the more I hate the pick, and I would rather play with my fingers. So I wonder, right? It's 2 fingers per string. I'm thinking, and maybe if you're really good, you could throw that other finger back in there, or maybe these two. Yeah. Very Lindsey Buckingham, right? That dude, like, just kind of. So I was looking at that, and I was like, okay, how hard is that? And man, I got so many questions about this guitar practice that we're doing. What are we doing? Are we raising the chair or are we lowering the camera? Hold on. All right. We should do more standing up, right? Oh my goodness. Hold on. That's a little too high. That's good. All right. It's all the sitting down. I really got to tell you, it's all the sitting. I'm either sitting at this computer computer setup, or I'm sitting in a car, or occasionally I'm sitting on the sofa. It's all the sitting. The sitting is the problem. But I will tell you, man, when I had a dog, there was very little sitting, so that may be what saves me. I may finally figure it out and get another animal. And that dog will help you get out of the house and be more social. But right now, yeah, I've got like more pounds on me than is necessary for my frame, which I think is necessary for my frame. Here we go. Slow and steadies. Where's my metronome? There it is. Should we use the metronome? This has been a hot shit show since Wednesday, right? Yep. I have this thing, right? I don't leave the house unless I'm dressed. And here, people leave the house in all manner of like comfortable clothing. And one thing I won't ever wear, two things: flip flops. Like if I wear sandals, I wear those tabias that cover your feet. Flip flops. Oh, good lord, sweet girl. And Crocs. Just a personal aesthetic choice of mine. I think it's a holdover of my. Oh, I think it's a holdover of my New Yorker. But I don't knock it. But man, some people, when I say they left the house with what they woke up in, good lord, I one day I am going to be so awesome at the guitar. All right. Once again, I want to wish everybody a good morning. Good day, sunshine. I wonder if I should try and learn a song on stream this week. Maybe that'll. I think I have a mental block about learning a song. It's the first song I'm gonna learn. I know I have to learn one because everyone does as guitarists. But there's something about it that's. I don't know which one to pick. I was looking up Little Wing yesterday, right? By about to say Clapton, by Hendrix. Then fell into a rabbit hole on it. Then I listened to the version by Clapton. Then I listened to the version by Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I was like, ah. Then I listened to back by Clinton by Hendrix again, and then I fell into a rabbit hole of tablature. Then I wanted to see what it looked like on sheet music, and then I found a guy who was playing it with the tab and the sheet music, and then yeah. Look, man, the rabbit holes are fun if you don't fall down stupid rabbit holes, right? But we all fall down rabbit holes. You want to hear something ridiculous? I used to knit, and I was like, all right, I had knitting pins and a couple of balls of yarn, and like, yeah, I was like, all right, like very slowly knit one, purl two, right? And then I was just kind of like, I'm not going to do this forever. What am I going to make people sweaters? So I sort of dropped that. But I came by honestly. Who in my family knitted? My mother has some stuff. Now I think I want to buy an old sewing machine and start sewing some stuff, like these pants, for instance. But when I was a boy, my sister, I wonder if my sister still knows how to sew. She learned it in home ec. Uh, I took cooking as home ec. I could have took automotive. I took 2 shop classes. I took home ec to learn how to cook because I knew as a kid I wanted to learn how to cook more. My mom was teaching us, so my mom taught us all how to cook. Like, oh, more recipes. Let's be able to nail this out, knock this out. Took that, and I took woodworking, which I really liked, and I still like. And I was like, maybe I should. I'm not ever gonna have a giant wood thing, but I have. Whenever I go, do I want to show you this? I'm not gonna show you this. I should show you this. I'm a weirdo, man. So whenever I get Chinese food, and I haven't gotten any, I think I've got it like twice in the last year after this pandemic. I think I'm done with Chinese food. I would always get 2 chopsticks, and now I have like a shit ton of chopsticks. And I was like, what am I going to do with this? This is definitely good arts and crafts material. I can build something. It's wood. It'll last forever, right? I was like, what am I going to do? So I think I'm going to try and buy some files and woodworking tools, maybe make a box or a log cabin. Or I'm sort of obsessed. After 9/11, I still dream about 9/11. After 9/11, and like low flying planes wig me out. So after 9/11, um, I was drawing a lot of like of the Twin Towers, never on fire, just like Twin Towers, like two long rectangles in the sky, white against a black background, night sky. Just sort of. Then I was like, I gotta stop drawing this fucking like. It was becoming very, not Friday the 13th, very Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But there's no payoff. It's just me sort of obsessing about this building. Man, I dreamed about that thing for like, now I wouldn't say almost 90, but definitely weekly for like and when it happened, I didn't dream about it at all. And then somewhere about 8 months later, I began to dream about it, and I'm still dreaming about it. But like first, it was sort of dark and harrowing. Then you were just like you be walking down the New York City street, and you look up, and then the towers would just fall down, and you wake up like, the fuck was that? It would just intercede in your life, like if you were having a dream about like going on a date with somebody, you were playing darts. You look out the window of wherever you are, the bar, the restaurant, whatever, and the buildings they'd be on fire, and then you'd wake up, or you just walking your dog, and you turn around and you'd be at ground zero with all, and then you wake up, like so all this kind of stupid, goofy shit. Um, and here's the thing about that. I remember this that pissed me off about New York. After this thing, they lowered the flight ceiling. And I was like, really, you're going to lower the flight ceiling for all these people traumatized by these planes? Yep, they did because they don't care. The flight ceiling was for them and their private jets to get in here. They did, yeah. It was also like the first time I saw these F-16s like flying over New York. Now here I see them all the time, uh, and it sort of like makes me, I don't want to say happy, but I'm like, oh yeah, very cool thing to see. Um, it's like when you're driving down the road and you come across someone's yard and they have all these horses you go, hey, look, horses. You go, ooh, wow, like because city folk don't see a lot of horses. City folk don't see a lot of F-16 flying overhead. Um, yeah, I don't dream about it much anymore, but I still have dreams about 9/11. Why am I telling you guys 9/11 stories? All right, so let's get to it. Again, let's get to it. We are going to do this thing with a metronome on, and we're going to hope for a brighter day today as we do so, or at least that the bad guys freaking bypass us and go about their way. Because trust me, the land is full of highwaymen and bad guys. You need allies. I'm one of them, but I'm not close enough to give you good advice, and so you need actual allies who are. Am I going to have to tune this? I think I am. Who are close to you, close proximity to you. And that is where friends come in. So don't be ridiculous. Don't listen to people who want to be, let's cut this one on too, who want to be big men on campus. Mic check. Oh, wow, this is testing me too, but it's not giving me any. Oh, no, it's just pulsing. All right. Okay, so yeah, man, people need friends. And like I always say, that's good. I'll take it. I'll take that too. Wow. 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 They're all sharp. No, they're all flat by about the same amount, literally. So instead of like being like that, it's like they're all flat about right here, except for the low E, which is dead on. So, in this tuning, the low E is out of tune. It should be a little flat like the rest of them. We're gonna do this slow and steady so we can work our metronome skills. I dropped my other metronome, which is the big piano pyramid. And that shit was loud AF. Now it doesn't work at all. It used to tick for 20 minutes. Now it ticks for 3. Like, God damn it. Nothing is made to last anymore. Into the landfill with you. I'm already off. Look, we, as American boys and girls, world citizens, if you're not American, can do a lot for our own sanity by learning an instrument. I think the learning of it opens you back up to all this stuff you may have liked, and maybe you'll put the instrument down and go back to writing or reading or writing poetry or writing your novel or but I think watching TV and losing your house and pfeffer over things you can't change will just give you a stroke. And maybe you're an asshole when it comes to politics, right? So maybe that's why you don't have any friends. Am I an asshole when it comes to politics? I don't think so, because I'm fairly diplomatic and social, but I can be an asshole. Don't get it fucking twisted. I can absolutely be a fucking moron. I don't do so often, but sometimes somebody is showing ridiculous, and you have to be as showy and as ridiculous. We can cut this off. So yeah, but the idea isn't to argue politics. Like when politics come up, you should know what you're talking about. If your politics are opposite of everybody else's, you can still say your piece without being an asshole about it, right? I think a lot of the problem with conservatives, and I have conservative friends I go back and forth with, when they run an argument, they get fucking nasty, and then I get nasty, right? One of the best instructors I ever had was in the police academy, Detective Seidel, and he was like, you should respond to what their actions are. So you shouldn't show up and be an asshole and beat people up and So, and that's what I did. I was like, you know what? Let's not yell. We're gonna solve this. Okay, then I'm gonna yell. I just told you, because at the end of the day, I'm winning anyway, right? I'm sitting here. You're not gonna send me away, right? So you might as well be like, all right, look, man, and that's what happened like 90% of the time. This is what happened. She did this or he did that. All right. And meanwhile, my partner is over there talking to Carrington, is over there talking to like the other person. And they're all right, stay there. We sort of meet in the back of the room. The way we did it is we separate them and then we have them back to back so they can't see each other, be all fucking fuming. But we're facing each other so we can see each other from across the room just in case something goes on, right? I can get to him. My back isn't turned and someone's got him in a chokehold. You know what I'm saying? So these. I mean, they were domestic disputes. They weren't all like like you see in the movies where somebody punched that dude in the face, or he hit that woman in the face, or she hit that guy. It was just kind of like dumb shit, and you had to show up like you're their mom. And we'd be like, this is the kind of stuff that I talk about with family. If you had a worthy, let's cut this off. I don't want to say if you had a worthy family. That's just a fucked up thing to say. I apologize for even thinking that about anybody's family. But if your family, there's a family dynamic that you missed, right? The idea of calling the cops on anyone in my family is just such an anathema to me. Look, me and my little brother argue a lot, right? We have sort of different worldviews. But those arguments may take 10 minutes. They're like, oh man, whatever. You got anything in here to drink? Yeah, drink the fridge. It might be in the basement, something like that. And it's that, hey man, whatever. I'm hungry. You got anything in here to eat? Oh yeah, there might be something just over. It's that. It's not, get out of my fridge. It's just kind of like snotty to be snotty. And I don't want to ever make up and I'm going to hate you forever. And you're my family. These are the people in your house, the people you're supposed to be closest to. Why do you treat them the worst? You know why people treat them the worst? Because they have to take it. I can say anything to you. You have to take it, and that's the absolute reverse of what it should be. I'm not going to say anything to you. I will tell you what I think in a way that's diplomatic because we're family, and I also know your strengths and weaknesses, right? Because we grew up together. So I just, man, right? And they do. I mean, look, going all in on an argument with a stranger, I don't get either. I mean, there's someone you're never going to see again. They're a stranger, and a conversation with a stranger should be sort of like a nice little bonus of your day. Why don't you stop to argue with a stranger, unless you're a miserable person, right? And that's what it is. I think people are emotionally stunted, and their only reactions are two things: sex and violence, right? And since a lot of people aren't good at violence, it's, and not a lot of people are good at sex either. It's a lot of titillation and aggression. And they swap back and forth so fast, and a lot of people think that their whole idea, the men boys think their whole idea is aggression, and the women think their whole energy is sexual. I'm going to tell you, it sounds rough, but there's a window on that sex ship, right? Just like there's a window, ladies, there's a window on it. God does not stop sending cute 18-year-olds into the gene pool every day, right? And you will one day sunset. You may sunset at 70. I'm telling you, it's going to be sooner than that. But most people, I think, generally sunset around 35. The men have a little more time, but the men's isn't sex. It's physical violence, right? It's power. And that sunsets at about, I want to say 35, 40. I think the guys may get an additional 2 years or so. But God doesn't stop making strong young men to beat your ass every day either. They come into season all the time, right? So you have to, in this society, you have to have allies, but you have to have sort of a course, because America will have you buying bullshit and invest in your family. No, you don't have a family anymore, but investing like your life saving in some scheme endorsed by the government, and then you'll get 3 cents on the dollar back after the lawsuit of 30 years. Right? Remember, the whole history is about people coming taking land from people, whether it's them jumping the gun to get there, or later people coming in with weird land claims to throw you out, right? And we're still doing it now. We just call it. We did it in the 1800s throughout the Dakotas, right? Uh, and right actually throughout the Midwest, trying to open up, make us a continental nation. Uh, they did it then, and they do it now with eminent domain. There was Midtown Manhattan was all black at one point, and then they came through with racist laws and bullshit. And now we're telling you that none of what they did matters. But everything that happened to the Jews in Germany is just, So, but you did the same thing. Why do these people, you know? It's got to be racism. Is it? Doesn't it? Maybe you're on the bottom, not for racism, but the same kind of shifty games. You know, America. I was taught meritocracy, where you work hard and you get there, and that's bullshit. That's what they tell the kids, and then you're stuck at your Walmart loading job for the next 30 years. You can't even get seed money together to start your good idea. I don't know. Good Lord, man. I don't want that to shut off, so we keep that running. All right. I wonder if I can try this with my fingers. Ugh. Oh. Oh my God. First of all, it's not very loud. Excuse me. That's our thumb. This should be thumb. This should be this. And this should be this. I actually like it better without the pick. I wonder if I can. Transition should be easy because I'm ass with the pick and I'm crap with strumming. So maybe, do we want to look up a very rudimentary finger technique? Yep, drinking warm coffee. Not even warm, it's cold coffee. Finger picking techniques for beginners. Finger picking tech for beginners. Finger stuff for beginners. Learn the number one technique. Take your hands to the neck, find your resting position, play this as accurately as possible. Finger style for beginners starts here. 3 easy finger style patterns for beginners, 8 finger style patterns you must know. How do I start learning finger style? Okay. Go to D string, back to string, yeah, okay. Well, apparently there's a ton of information. Well, obviously the internet is a ton of information. How do you remember finger pattern? 3 cool, super simple. Yeah, okay. Pinky index, pinky middle, pinky. Oh, they've even numbered them. Pinky index, pinky middle, pinky index, pinky middle. Easy finger picking guitar, quick start, finger picking 101. Okay. I don't think this is going to be as hard as I thought it was going to be. Thumb up. Oh, this is a good picture. What is this? Thumb up. That's P. Index is I. Middle is M. M is middle. Okay. Index is I. Okay. Thumb is P. Why is the thumb P? And ring is A. So ring is A, not R, and thumb is P, not T. But index is I and middle is M. So I'm assuming the picking is with 4 fingers. I thought it was 2. And now they got 5 finger picking. Oh, five. Okay, I thought it was 5 finger, 5. So it's this, and your pinky doesn't do anything. So you be doing this while you're doing this, right? Barry Lindsay Buckingham. So it's all right. Hold on. I see why that works. Find it. Ah, it doesn't tell you where they should rest though. Where does C add 9 G D F sharp D slash F sharp. Some of these I don't know what they mean. I gotta find out what they mean. Then I gotta look them up on it. Oh, we're supposed to make a musical stab and we didn't. Woo! That's actually a super easy fix because what I have here is a tri-panel thing, and what I'll just do, I'll show it to you. What I'll do is all right. This thing is filthy. All right. This is what we're doing. Like, so this is what I was going to let me wash my toes this time. This is what I was going to make the guitar neck out of, right? I was going to cut this, right, and just don't want to, right, and just have the guitar neck be the whole thing, which I still might do. But I was also just going to, because there's 2 of them, just make this a staff and use bottle caps for the notes so we can slowly learn the notes, which I think is the best way we're going to do that. That's still in play. Yeah, but where does the hands rest on this thing? It doesn't tell you. I guess it just rests over the. I guess it just rests over the hole. We don't have any guitarists in the chat. That's all right. We are gonna learn this thing. We're gonna knock easy pick around. Look, you know what? Maybe just ask you, not YouTube, Wikipedia, and see what they say about it. Finger picking for beginners, right? Now, well, how about just do finger picking and see what Wikipedia has to say about it? Finger saw and finger picking. Finger saw, hard to learn. Finger picking technique, guitar work. Finger picking, guitar, Wikipedia. All right. Techniques. Ooh, wow, that guitar is fucking beautiful. Oh, I know I'm good if I can afford like a Gretsch guitar. I think I want one of those. I want a white one. Funky approach, advanced technique. What is the technique? All right, the technique is what I want to know. Because individual digits play notes on the guitar rather than the hand working as a single unit. The hand works as a single unit in what? Drumming, I guess. Not piano. Piano's is fingers, right? And guitar is digits, they say. Okay, the hand working as a single unit, which creates the hand of that. Which is the case when a guitarist is holding a single pick. A guitarist playing fingerstyle can perform several musical elements. Ooh, simultaneously. Ooh, yeah, that sounds better. One definition of tech has been put forward by Toronto, Canada Fingerstyle Guitars. Toronto Fingerstyle Guitar Association. There's a Fingerstyle Guitar Association. That's amazing to me. It's not a guitar, so it's you can't get in because you use a pick. That's amazing to me. Wow, that is amazing to me. So yeah, we're supposed to be learning music, but since I'm concentrating on the guitar, there's a lot of stuff I'm learning just about, not just about music, but about the guitar. Physically, fingers are referred to using each of the right hand fingers, each of the right independently to play more as a wow. So okay, I guess you're supposed to be able to do this with five. Well, you got five fingers and six strings. I was thinking two strings a finger, two for the thumb, two for the index, and two for the thumb, two for the pointer. It's just my index or my pointer. Uh, it was on my pointer. Uh, I think this is the index and this is the middle. Physically, finger sign for the deep bass harmonic. Where were we? Finger. Physically, fingerstyle refers to each of the right hand fingers independently to play multiple parts of a musical arrangement that would normally be played by several band members. Fingerstyle refers to each of the right hand fingers independently. If it refers to each of the right hand fingers independently to play multiple parts. That doesn't sound right. Physically, finger side refers to using each. Okay. Okay, I got it. Multiple parts of the music that would normally be played by several band members. Deep bass notes, harmonic accompaniment, the chord progression, melody, and percussion can all be played simultaneously when playing finger style. Many fingerstyle guitars have adopted a combination of acrylic nails and thumb pick to improve tone and decrease nail wear and chance of breaking or chipping. Notable guitarists to adopt this hardware are Annie DeFranco, Doyle Dykes, Don Ross, and Richard Smith. Many fingerstyle guitarists have adopted a combination of acrylic nails and the thumb pick. Where's her image? Acrylic nails. That explains the nail thing. I thought you can only if you had naturally strong nails or something. Okay. And this one says, okay, thumb notation, finger notation, thumb is P. What finger notation, thumb, index, middle, ring, little. Notation, thumb T, index 1, middle 2, ring 3, little finger 4. And here's another one, finger notation, thumb P, index I, middle M, ring A, and little C or X or E. All right. All right. So they're saying finger picking is all five fingers. And I thought it was three. They're saying it's all five. How do you pluck? I'm having trouble plucking five fingers on my left hand. To achieve tremolo effect and rapid fluent scale passages and vary arpeggios, the player must practice alternation. Alternation. That is, never plucking a string with the same finger twice. Common alternation patterns include I am, basic melody line on true here. As the appearance of walking on string. I Miami. Tremolo pattern with a triplet feel. Same note is repeated 3 times. Pampi Pami, another tremolo pattern. Pippi or PMPM, a way of playing melody line and lower strings. What? American primitive guitar is a subset of fingerstyle arranged with John Fahey, who's recording from the late 1950s and mid 60s. Inspired many guitarists such as Leo Kosk, who made his debut recording of 6 and 12-string guitars on Fahey's Tacoma label in '69. American primitive guitars can be characterized by the use of folk music or folk-like materials. Okay, what does that have to do with? Wow, okay. Lionel Luoki plays a skeleton guitar. Oh, that guitar looks ballin' ass awesome. A skeleton guitar. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to look up a skeleton guitar. Oh my God. Okay. Skeleton, sometimes sonic guitars are a small body instrument with a knee rest of the outer frame and dimension of an acoustic guitar so they can be placed. Okay. Electroacoustic, semi-acoustic. Does it sound different? A silent guitar is a type of guitar with a solid or chamber body that converts the vibration of the strings into electrical current using a piezoelectrical pickup. Alrighty. Okay. All right. It sounds a little too complicated for me. Let's cut this off. Uh, we've investigated fingerstyle and we think we like it, but we are obviously nowhere near fingerstyling anything. Um, I want to thank all of you for coming on through. We have been streaming for an hour and 50 minutes, 53 minutes. And we talked a fair amount of wacky nonsense about politics. I hope we didn't offend you, but if we did, I hope you come back. Think about what we said. Maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. Wherever we're wrong, try and correct us. I love a good conversation. If we're right, well, we're right. While you're holding on to old information, if new information trumps that, right? So I mentioned that I went to bed at like 1:30. I was like, I'm not better get to bed so I can watch this. I got caught up in a thing. Um, and yesterday it wasn't a car alarm. It sounded like a burglary alarm, and it kept going off and off and off. But it was just this weird pitch to it, so it didn't sound like a car alarm. It sounded like a house thing. Uh, it went on forever. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to get to sleep with this thing on. Um, Somehow managed to do it. I don't know if they shut it off, but it's not going on now. I don't think I haven't heard it. Here's the thing: don't do all the stuff society wants you to do. Have a wild streak in you, not a crazy wild streak where you're punching nuns and kicking kids downstairs, but like do something interesting. We don't need a hobby improves you, right? So every now you see somebody with a train hobby, they have a house and they have this innate train system. I always think, who's going to clear that shit out when you die, right? I don't know why, but have a hobby. At least painting, drawings, writings. You can leave. Somebody could come up with a, a compilation of your great writings versus a train system, which is cool. But don't get me wrong. Some things we do is purely up our own ass, right? Like me collecting comic books is a thing, but that doesn't really do anything for anybody but me. And at the end of the day, when I leave it, you know, there's comic books, right? Why am I picking this up for? It's just a it's just a train set that I just have to break down and you know. But if you play guitar, you can leave the guitar something. You can write music. You can have an archive where people can play the sounds you play down. You know, it's different, right? So get a hobby that's, I would say, I mean, that's, I don't want to throw shade at train people who build those. I mean, because they're beautiful. I mean, but some of them are really incredible. But a hobby where you can like music, for instance, you can teach your child music yourself, right? That's awesome. You can write stuff and that child can find it in 30 years and go, oh, my dad wrote this when he was, 15, 16, 17, 27, 37, whatever. And then he can play it as you wrote it, note for note, right? Like reading a letter. Dear son, I love you. Oh, my dad found it, dear son. It's not like, what does this say? Child of mine? No, I think that's his son. Oh, so you don't have to decipher it. Right? You know what I mean? You don't have to have other people read it for you or get it wrong, right? You can read it and see if it's worth things because people have sold away families, a family member's whole life's work for pennies because it wasn't their life's work and somebody just offered them what they thought was a lot of money when it was worth a lot more. You see it all the time. Uh, but part of it starts with you investing in you, and then we'll see where that goes. All right, so it is 2 o'clock. We set no more 3 hour streams. It is Sunday morning. We got almost no guitar practice in, which is like the third day in a row. Yeah. Oh, oh, that's not right. This is right. What am I doing? Come on. While coming back up has been a super duper issue for me. Actually, going down has been an issue for me as well. That was horrible, but that's fine. That is okay. So, we have been streaming for 2 hours. So, remember, we're not going to be doing 5 hour streams anymore because who can sit and watch a 5 hour stream? Um, Actually, quite frankly, I could, but I'm normally doing stuff. So, we decided to limit these streams to like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. That's about a good amount of stream to stream on Twitch, right? People will sit and watch 2.5, 3 hours, not 5. Our morning shows normally go an hour and 15 minutes because we want to do a little to get before we go to work. Want to keep music in our hearts and our mind. That's the point of it. Have coffee together. And then the show at 4 p.m. The show at 4 p.m. You did not just drop that in the hole. Come on, man. I dropped that good and far back there. Where is it? Okay, here you come on. I feel like I'm about to win a Cupid dog. Okay, that's dead center. There you go. Good, sweet Jeebus. All right. Boing, boing, boing. Let's get a little closer to the coffee. Let's hit this again. Let's hit this again. Let's hit this again. Let's hit this again. All right. I'm fucking this up a lot. I really am. I'm at the point slowly where I don't want to even mess with it anymore because I feel like it's kicking my ass and smacking me around, which is bad because Monday we had this. A week ago Monday we were knocking this out. But in fairness to us, to like pat ourselves on the back, like I said, we don't want to just kick ourselves when we're down. We want to give ourselves props. We didn't know any of this this time last week. And like I said, we went from being familiar with it, really familiar with it. We're trying to become intimate with it, but now we were familiar with it. Now we're sort of mild acquaintances with it. So we somehow slipped down the chain of where we wanted to be. It's amazing. This thing is wiggy AF. It's missing it's missing a screw, and it's a weird ass screw that I have to find. That's wrong. Let's go back here. What's going on here? What am I not hitting? There's a fucked up transition here that I'm still making the same mistakes with. Okay, let's go back down. Good Lord. Remember, this counts as Sunday service no matter what church you go to. So that money that you would be putting in this till, buy your kid an ice cream cone. Don't have a kid? Go borrow your nephew, buy him an ice cream cone. Or nieces. 2 scoops, sprinkles. Be their favorite aunt or uncle. Acrylic nails. Excuse me. The idea of that I find odd, but I get it immediately. What is an acrylic nail? Those fake nails that ladies wear are that strong? All right, what is going on here? I'm missing the B, the G to B in the second mode, and I'm totally blank tanking the beginning of the third. So the 2 and 3 is where I have my hiccup. Even as I'm super sloppy with 1, and we already know the last position. It's tiny down here, but yeah. My plucking is butt. So we know this. We get cross up over here, and we get cross up down here. Bum, 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 bum. Once we get here, well, we got to do this. This throws me. And over here, this throws me. Da, 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 da. Come down here. 3. Then I got to do this. Largely because my pinky is weak AF. And I miss it a lot. But sometimes I'm just so clumsy. Like this, I just got this hand laid across both strings and plucking whenever, which is convenient. I don't think it's a cheat, but that's not what I'm trying to do here in the beginning. I'm trying to build up a little precision and dexterity, which is the watch words here. All right, why don't we cut you off for a second? That plus the fact that I have not been really strumming. I'm supposed to go running today. 10 a.m. I had this running schedule in here about 10 years. Not 10, well, yeah, about let's. Back to running. What if I just simplified my life, got rid of all this shit, and ran my life like it was a small monastery of just me? 1,000-day devotionals, learn music, learn some other shit that I have to learn, and stop talking about politics because those people are full of shit. Find as many people like me who want to learn something, want to raise money, to not buy a giant house, want to have a safe environment where the women and the men can fucking not trust each other, and have a good environment where younger people learn how to interact with younger people, the males and the females. Like, stop acting like the women will have their own society over there and the men will have their own society over there. But let me tell you something, ladies. You may think that's cool, but when the men come to invade, it's your ass. You know what I'm saying? Good Lord. Why would you segregate the society? Huh? Why? Because as soon as there's a hot enough thing, the men are going to be like, why are we even humoring this shit? And then, you would have to find allies amongst men, because there's going to be violence. Why would you raise your sons to hate women? That's one of those things, right? Why would you willfully raise your daughters to hate men? Your daughter's, yeah, that makes sense. We're supposed to be getting better, not getting more separated and segregated. I don't know, man. Like I said, this counts as your Sunday service. You know, drop a drachma in the hat. Is that what Jesus used? Drachmas? No, that's drachmas are Greek, right? What money did Jesus use? I thought I knew this. Money in Jesus's time. Denarius. That sounds like a rapper's name. This is my man Denarius. The denarius is also mentioned in the parable of the Good Samaritan. The render unto Caesar's patches in Matthew 22, 15 to 20. 22, yeah, 15-22. Mark 12, 13 to 17, using some script word, I guess, to describe the coin held by Jesus, translated in the King James Bible as tribute penny. Denarius was a standard Roman silver coin from the introduction of the Second Punic War, circa 211 BC. The reign of Gordon III, AD 238 to 244, when it gradually replaced the Antoninium, the Antoninianus, Antonianus, Antoninianus, Antoninianus. Okay. It's continuing to be minted in very small quantities, likely the ceremony purpose, until the Tetrarchy. The Tetrarchy was a system instituted by Roman Emperor Diocletian in 293 to govern the. Come on, man. 293 to govern the ancient Roman Empire by dividing between two single emperors. Augustus, yeah, that's not going to work because eventually they'll stop. They'll get mad. The two people who are sharing power may not have a problem with it. Once you replace one or the other of them down the line, people will want all the power for themselves because that is definitely a European thing to do. Perpetual conflict to be world dominant, and they're shit at it because for 1,000 years somebody should have taken over already, all of Europe. There should be one king of Europe or something. Obviously, it doesn't work. So stop. At this point, you're just making money, starting wars. I finally get it. That is the point of it. It's never actually to unite anything. It's always the same thing. Top row, left, right. 157 BC Roman coin, AD 73 Vespucian, AD 161 Marcus Aurelius, AD 194 Septimus Severus, second left row, AD 199 Corsarella, AD 200 Julia Domna, 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 Elagabalus, AD 219 Elagabalus, 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 yeah, Elagabalus. And Maximus Thrax. Wow, they're the baller name. Maximinus. Did they spell that right? Maximinus Thrax. Gaius Julius Verus Maximinus Thrax was a Roman emperor from 235 to 238. 3 years? Come on, homie, with a name like that, you ball out of control. All right, Maximinus Thrax. Whew. He sounds like he's about to invade the world and bring pain and horror with him. Thrax. Maximinus Minius. I love a good name. I guess it happened as a kid. I had a corny name, Sean. I think my mother named me because Sean Connery was a big movie star when I was a kid. So I got Sean. But I grew up around flower children, and people had the best names. Some of them were trite, like Rainbow, but some of them were fucking awesome. Yeah. Nobody names their kids any of those great names. Now they just fucking pull shit out of their head. Some of these names that's going around in the Black community, I'm like, what does that name come from? Some of them are old, ancient names. My sister has a unique name. It goes back to Black history, not slave culture. And here's another thing. Talk about names. Uncle Ben, you changed the name like Ben is not a name. Change his picture, I get. But it's not like it was a bad picture of a black dude in a suit, right? So you could have, man, it's hard to explain, right? It's a picture of a black guy in a suit. It's not a bad thing. His name is Ben. It's not a bad thing. I mean, and don't get it twisted. I know the controversy. I'm not. If you've been following this fucking channel, me or any of my other platforms, don't even show up here like I don't know what the issues are. And Aunt Jemima, right? They got rid of her. Granted, she was dressing in the early days. She was dressing like kitchen clothes from like the 1800s, in some like white family's house kind of garb. And then they changed it, put a pearl earring. She had her hair done up like right. But that was since the 80s, so they sort of attempted to fix it. But they changed her name. Jemima is a name. It's a name. How did the name Jemima get slandered? Right? Mary is very popular in the Spanish community. Imagine slandering that because someone said or did something about Spanish people. The name should not be slandered. The name goes. This is what I mean about people just hopping on board and making not everything a cause, and coming at things upside down and left. My whole thing is make laws and enforce them so the cops don't kill us, the banks don't rob us, blah blah. Everyone else is doing this window dressing bullshit, and this is one of them. Don't eat if you don't like it. Don't eat the shit, right? But it doesn't affect your life. But now it's in the newspaper as an issue. Like, yeah, we all got together and we want that change. No, this is just them giving you something to talk about instead of talking about the real shit. So, and the thing about Jemima is, I would love to name my kid Jemima. It's still a big name in Britain, oddly enough. There's a couple of actresses named Jemima. Let's look up one of them right now. Like I said, I'm 50. She's younger than me, so that's like I say, like all these young men who are still racist. You're still making racist, so stop acting like it's going away. All those Proud Boy idiots are in their 20s and 30s. Fuck those guys. Jemima actress, right? Jemima Kirk. Jemima Jo Kirk is an English American. Oh, here we go. English American. Pick one, bitch. She gained international acclaim through her role as Jessie Johansson on HBO's Girls. She's 36. Yeah, Jemima is like Jemima Roper, born 1981, a British actress. So yeah, how they tell you should feel bad about this, and who are the people telling you this? People from outside the community. You just, man, it's only us, and all the people sitting here talking this shit, Jemima as a name, are always the people who are happy to sell you out so they can be important to a group. Jemima as a girl's name is Hebrew origin, meaning dove. In the Bible, Jemima is the eldest of three daughters of Job, renowned as the most beautiful women of their time. Right? Yeah, so back when we were naming all our kids after Bible names, my grandfather's name is Noah. Right? My father has a biblical name. My mother has a biblical name. Right? But this is one of the lesser known like names, I guess, Jemima. And you demonize it. You just associate it with black slavery, so nobody can have this name anymore. Versus fixing what the problem is. All of our, you know what? I say this all the time. Jews got most of their shit back after their last incursion, and they stand against us getting anything back under the guise of I didn't do it. Okay, you didn't do it. I got you. All right. What, you want me to vote for who? Yeah, no, fuck you. I didn't do it. Why did Hillary Clinton lose? Yeah, vote. Yeah, I didn't do it. This society is so one way. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 19 minutes. I actually may end this stream and start another stream just so we don't have 3 hour streams. And when I say start another stream, I mean damn near immediately. So let's give this one another 15 minutes. We're gonna punch out and we're gonna punch back in. And it won't be a guitar stream. It'll just be maybe it will be a guitar stream. God dang. I like to stream long, but I know I can't stream for 5 hours because no one's gonna watch it. And we're sort of middling about. What's up, Charles? Everything's going well. I hope everything's going well with you on this Sunday here. It's Sunday, I hope, where you are. Yeah, we need to do more socializing, obviously, more music learning. Everybody should pick up a discipline. And like I said, we have no power, so the people in power are going to do evil shit. But just being perpetually stressed about what they're doing to you will just eventually give you a heart attack or something. So you got to know they're full of shit. as you march forward in your own life, trying to find some semblance of happiness, since they've sort of made that super, super hard to do. Um, so yeah, it's not easy. It's hanging well, man. This Sunday morning, whew, we were thinking about going to the beach, streaming from the beach. Like I said, there's two things I'm nervous about here. I have yet to have a what do they call it when you go out on the road, an altered, well, not an altered location. Uh, at, I used to know this. Who has all the power? Oh, essentially, we were talking about government people, and like you want money to, let's say, Pell Grants to go to college. They nip that. They make it hard to, quite frankly, pay for college. They make it hard to exist in your daily life, and the only problem they give you are warring problems against other Americans, so you can get elected, or they can get elected. And the problem is, if you keep taking part in that, nothing will change. You get to be right or wrong, because that's the way politics work, ebb and flows. But you don't really get anything. So we're here trying to do less of that and actually get something. And that something is like music, or trying to encourage people to pick up some music with me here, or take their gaming. You're on Twitch. Take the gaming seriously and try and become a Twitch actual versus. And we're also talking. I guess we don't have an age group, but I guess younger people would benefit from this most, because they're going to commit the same sins their parents did, right? So you like Hillary Clinton or you don't. What does it get you either way, right? Nothing, right? Versus just going, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm gonna vote how I vote, and I'm gonna become a better cook or a better fitness person, or I'm gonna write that novel, or I'm gonna start this gaming company that I'm gonna start, or concentrate on you. So in 10 years, you can have some tangible thing. If I started this 10 years ago, and now I have X employees. Started this 10 years ago. Now I'm writing music. I have an album. I started acting, shooting my own stuff on YouTube, and now I'm a director, right? You'll have something in 10 years versus just perpetually looking at politics and having an opinion, because in 10 years, you won't have anything but more politics and more opinion, and probably a more broken heart, more stressed out, more angry at your neighbor. So that's the people who have the power, and what I think we can do. Where anyone, yeah, no one can control you. But who wants to live in international waters? That's where L. Ron Hubbard lived for like the last 15 years of his life. Do you know the L. Ron Hubbard story? And I'm gonna share a little story with you, which I thought was hysterical when I heard it. At first, I thought it was super sinister when I heard it, and then years later, I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? So L. Ron Hubbard, the writer who Dianetics, who started the Church of Scientology, that weird group of sinister people. Him and his friends tried to take over the government, and a lot of them went to jail for it. You can look it up. A lot of them went to jail for it, and he lived on a boat in international waters. And they would send him stuff because he was like their king god person. But if he stepped his foot on these shores, he would be 1,000 years for treason. So yeah, look it up. I'll look it up. It's like the Scientologists. You could all be Scientologists right now. Want to buy a big boat with me and become high seas pirates and eat fish and algae for the rest of our life? Yeah, baby. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, at least that'll be a plan, and we'll be in charge of our own destiny, right? Isn't that the mode? That's so good. Oh, did it not? There it is. All right. But yeah, we're trying to bring you back in control of a little of your happiness, and with the idea that maybe whatever you pick should not just be your opinion, or if it is, it should be like, you could build an archive of me talking or you talking, right? So you're building something. In 10 years, you can go, oh, I thought that then, and you can see how I changed my mind over here. It's at least it shows that you are doing something versus just watching TV and being angry at Hillary, being angry at Trump, being angry at, like, what is this? All right, let's close this because I'm not going to read it. And that kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely true. You can absolutely become more happy by disconnecting, but in disconnecting, you sever yourself from the information and the joys of the internet. So maybe you should just redirect where you go on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think we should do. We need a little bit of redirection. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we need a bit of redirection, and not so much what they want us to be, which is perpetually at each other's throats. So then someone can punk you with their MAGA hat or punk you with their Hillary's great shirt or whatever how they want you to hate your neighbor. And I mean, like, it may not be your next door neighbor because people generally live in clutches, but essentially, your fellow human being and the agita and the angst that you get. So we were going to look up that Scientologists taking over America. Scientologist coup. We came under the ex-Scientologists coming up put in church. Scientologists coup against the U.S. Lord, against the U.S. government. All right. Operation Snow White. Operation Snow White was a criminal conspiracy by the Church of Scientology. Operation Snow White was a criminal conspiracy by the Church of Scientology during the 1970s to purge unfavorable records about Scientology and its founder, including a series of infiltrations into and thefts from 136 government agencies. Okay, so it wasn't taken up the country, but it was an attack on the government, right? Foreign embassies and consulates, as well as private organizations critical of Scientology. They've been up to this bullshit for a very long time. Involved parties: Mary Sue Hubbard, Cindy Raymond, Gerald Bennett, Wolf, Henny Hyde, Duke Snyder, Gregory. Yeah, it's the same people who stormed the Capitol. There's always these people. They'll just be called something different every 30 years. But there's always the arrogance of these people that I think sort of makes the nation great and sort of makes people. so tribalism is bad. I think some tribalism is good. I think the American tribe, when done right, does well. But we should pick our tribes. I think they stole documents from a Scientology research as far as Denmark. Yeah. And L. Ron Hubbard had to live on a boat for the remainder of his year over it. And sent it into Canada and resulted in legal proceedings against the church. 11 defendants were free. Yeah, you know what? Imagine if you did that, you would be. This tells you that they're not really, what they claim to be about. If they're up to good nonsense like this, they're another church that doesn't have a food kitchen. So yeah, I'm instantly skeptical. I'm instantly skeptical. Skeptical. I'm instantly skeptical. Yeah. It was a world operation though, so better organized than I am. For real, let's get a boat, start a cult, and steal documents. Yeah, baby. Modern day pirates, man. Have you seen some of those videos of like these boat crews? These boat companies hire like mercenaries to fly on these boats, and they just essentially murder people out at sea. Like these pirates, they just open up fire on them with high-end ordnance that's bought by American corporations. So they hire you to kill people. I don't think you can kill people, even in international waters. I don't think you can. But yeah, we'll see. All right. Yeah. Okay. So wow, it blocked your comment, which is funny because I'm reading it and it doesn't look bad. Yeah, Around the Horn of Africa and Somalia. Yeah, it wouldn't let me show it. That movie was about one of those pirates versus merchants. Yeah, we saw that movie, Captain Phillips. But yeah, I mean, you know how out of control it gets when they actually make a movie of the nonsense. I mean, Africa is just the richest continent in the world, but the people have no power because Europe just goes in there and takes diamonds as big as your fist out every day by the fucking plane load. So, yeah, I mean, the unfairness is evident. We just don't get to hear about it on our news agencies because our news agencies aren't legit. I follow several news agencies. I used to follow the Russian Times, whatever, just to see what they said about America. And then they began to get really stupid, and I had to stop following them. And by the time I stopped following the Russian Times, all these other people had started following them. I was just kind of like, ugh. But once they built an audience, they started lying, and then I was out of there. Uh, but yeah, information is key. Like I said on this podcast before, if you have an internet connection and a curious mind, like the world is your oyster. Shame on you for not knowing some of this stuff. In my opinion, not saying you personally, but like the world, you can look up stuff, and it's not all lies. I mean, the internet is crowdsourced too, right? So if people say that the world is flat, a lot of people are going to say that's ridiculous and have actual evidence. People say that you didn't go to the moon. A lot of people are going to go, and show you actual evidence. But other people say wild stuff, and then you have to go, wait, what? And then everybody's also at odds with it. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I shouldn't just be saying Europe. I'm sorry about that, but China is another one of these. Uh, and not everyone in Africa is poor, like the rich and middle class people in all of Africa's countries. Right? No, no, I don't mean to imply all of Africa's poor, but a good majority of these places um, are still having civil wars and wiping out their population, and like the wider continent, I don't want to say doesn't seem to care, have political energies that belie fixing it because they're in bed with this group or that group. China is running, like, essentially trying to buy Africa out. um, yeah, man, you got like the way the world gets down is sort of sketchy. Even if we fix our whole thing here in the Americas, quite frankly, but America, you're still gonna have to step out your borders and deal with these dark characters, right? And who wants to do it? It'd be like the Civil War all over again, where they were like white guys in New York were like, I'm not trying to fight in the South for black people. What the hell does that have to do with me, right? People getting off of boats coming here from after the potato famine, being drafted to fight. They were like, I've never even seen a black person. Why do I even have to? So all this kind of like kind of stuff that breeds enmity among its people. Enmity, in good lord. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I know the word I'm looking for. Enmity, enmity, being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. Enmity. Hey, in
Enmity.
enmity, enmity. Yeah, I also have trouble saying comfortable. Comfort, is it comfortable or comfortable? Comfortable. Yeah, that's the word I learned wrong because I learned it by saying comfortable, and now all these years later, I still have an issue with it. Comfortable,
Comfortable.
comfortable,
Comfortable.
comfortable,
Comfortable. Comfortable.
comfortable. All right, so yeah, we all have a word that's wiggy. Not everyone has to put them in, but you're right. It's like companies come in, talk to local politicians, get a deal on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the infrastructure is only their giant building that they're making, and the giant lands, the best lands that they bought outside, so they can build a giant house. And then when it all goes bad, and they're not paying taxes there either. Then when it all goes bad, they're close enough to a private jet to get the fuck out of there. Like I remember BP, not BP, was it British Petroleum? I think it might have been British Petroleum. Had a gas leak and killed all these people in India. And before they could even talk to the CEO of the place, and he was on a plane and gone, just like that woman who ran over that boy in England like last summer. Before they could even, she was a wife of like an ambassador. She claimed diplomatic immunity, which is bullshit. Nobody gave her diplomatic. Her husband has it, uh, and she was out of the country, never to return to England. With them, like, and America said, we're not sending her back. This is your allies, right? So send her back. But again, England doesn't send people back here because we have the death penalty. There's been a couple of people who killed people here, English people, and then managed to get back to England, and they were like, "No, we'll throw them in jail. We're not sending them." Same thing happens with Israel. Israelis are always doing stupid shit here. Jews rather, here American citizen Jews, and then they hop on a plane and go to Israel, and Israel will go, well, Jewish blood is sacred, and we'll hold them here. And there was one where a boy who was, I want to say he was 17, killed somebody, and skipped off. His parents put him on a plane to Israel. Never came back here, and they're our allies. I'm like, wait, what? I mean, what are these extradition things for if this is always going on? I bet you my ass would have been returned immediately, no matter where I went. But yeah, why is that the case? Because sometimes it's not always murder. A lot of the time it's financiers and bankers and who happen to do this, and they hop on a plane and go, and they live like kings in Israel. So yeah, I mean, I'm not throwing any shade at any of the Jewish people who may be in the chat, but it's a fact that you can just look up. Yeah, I think if you landed in Iran or North Korea, it's your butt. I think the government will be happy that you went to North Korea. Yeah, people try and escape to Mexico like Mexico love you. Mexico's a failed state. Drug cartels run that place, and they're not crazy about Americans. They're not. There was 2 guys who tried to drive their motorcycles from California down all the way to Mexico to Brazil. They got to Honduras and they disappeared. They found their bikes burned in the woods, and they think the cartels got them. No one ever saw them again. But like I tell people, nobody loves you because you love yourself. I mean, we've done a lot of evil shit in this, like, south to our southern neighbors. Don't act like they love you. And when you see people showing up there, they're generally rich people showing up with a camera crew and an entourage on a giant deal. They're not you or I, right? I mean, the people who go there at the border, those people accept them because they like American money and the exchange rate is huge, and you're right by the border, you deal with it. But once you're out of that border, you're into like where they live. You better have actual business there, and you better know people and be on good terms. Because I'm telling you, cartels kill Mexicans all the time. They will absolutely dust you off just because. What is going on? What is that? Do you guys hear that? Guess not. Yeah, another guy who I think has so much money. We were talking about power earlier. I think he's another guy who had a lot of money and no power, right? So just because you're a billionaire doesn't mean you're powerful. It just means you're really rich. And he killed the dude and skipped the country. I think he left because he didn't like taxes, and then he needed to get back here, right? This is why you never burn your bridges. There's no extradition with Colombia, right? Not Colombia. He was in some bucolic little town where people go as tax dodgers. And he just left. But when he left Belize, and when he left, he went to a place where there was an extradition treaty, and he was arrested immediately, right? So he didn't even go to another non-jurisdiction town, right? You got to be weird. You run out, and it's nice to have money. You can cuddle up to whoever the magistrate is. I don't want to say bribe him, but like treat him well, and he'll like you but until he doesn't. And he may not get your money because your money's in a bank in Switzerland or something, but he still got your butt and you're still there. So when he went to, where did he go? They arrested him immediately because Americans said, we want him back here on tax evasion charges. But he killed the guy, right? I think the guy killed his dogs and he hired mercenaries to go over there and, a hearsay, and deal with this guy. And then he left the country on his private jet. He had all the money in the world, and he was, money leads to arrogance. You can see it in Jeff Bezos too. He'll be his own undoing. I heard of Peter Nygaard. Let's look up Peter Nygaard. What did Peter Nygaard do? So I guess this is stop being about guitaring. So we're gonna start our political pod again, because I'm doing this to get away from politics, but I do like talking politics. Peter Nygaard. $900 million, 79. Okay. Wait, do I know this guy? Is he in the news? What did he do? Ooh, a link. All right, let's get it. Oh, I can't click on this and have it go here. All right, what do we do? All right, I'm gonna watch that later. I'm not gonna watch it now. But what did he do in a nutshell? Sex trafficking. Yeah, that sounds about right. I got all the money. I do whatever I want to these women. Come on my giant yacht, my giant plane, my giant island, and then all this. I'm not inviting you there to talk to you. I mean, I think some of these young ladies know what they get into. Oh, he's got a giant bed. Ooh, we going away for the weekend, and then if it is what it is, man. I think some of this is. I mean, when I was not a kid, but like 10 years ago, women who hung out celebrities had to sign a waiver that you wanted to be here and you wanted, like, and then they had another sign. Oh, you wanted to have sex with this celebrity because people knew that after you had sex, it was immediately it was a rape, and I've got DNA on you. So now everybody's trying to like hedge their bets and be like, but that's part of this was years ago too, and I think this is part of what has undone like just the energy between men and women meeting in places. Everybody's instantly suspect. Is he a rapist? Is she a con woman? Am I, and it's just kind of like, really? You got worries that you normally shouldn't even have in this environment when you should just try and be dating. But I mean, the consequences are dire. You're going to jail for 30 years. Look at that. He did that and basically ruined the Bahamas political scene in battle with him, man. Yeah. Over some really petty shit. Yeah, it's their egos. They have $1 billion to fight over ego nonsense. Um, but yeah, man, it is like who was I just saying? Yeah, Kobe Bryant. So here's my thing about Kobe Bryant and that rape charge, right? He's in a hotel. The woman goes up to his hotel. She comes back in half an hour down to where she was. Uh, says she was raped. And this doesn't make any sense to me. Why I'm sitting in my hotel where everybody knows I am. Why? I mean, I don't. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't. I'm not. I don't know why people rape, but I'm just saying. Women get in bed with movie stars. That was that famous guy who had sex with the waitress on a plane and ended his romance with the actress. Uh, but yeah, like because you're famous. Ooh, I had sex with this famous. So it's sad. But she said he was. So now the whole thing he said she said right because he's a famous guy in a hotel room. On the day of the trial, the weirdest thing happened. They essentially came to an agreement. He paid her money. They dropped the charges. To me, if he raped her, he paid to get out of it, and he should be in jail. That shouldn't be allowed. If he didn't, she extorted him under the guise of this American system, which will throw black people in jail for 30 years and then let you out with an oops, excuse me, kind of bullshit apology. Either one of those should not have been allowed to happen. If she's a con woman and a liar, she shouldn't have gotten $30 million for it. And if he raped her, he shouldn't have paid her $30 million to get away with it. That case, I don't know who's the guilty party, but I know it's full of shit. And that's it. That doesn't happen for you or me. And who sleeps with a bull? Oh my God, you're Kobe Bryant. Even if she wanted to, oh, I would really. And then like, yeah, gone for half an hour, and then you go back downstairs. You don't run out screaming or crying or calling the cops. The whole thing just seemed really just just a lot of questions that I could easily knock down, and I'm not a lawyer. But in an environment where, what did they say? Believe all women, which was bullshit. How do you believe all women don't lie? What? Believe all women? That's ridiculous. We want the truth. We want the truth. We want the truth. We want the truth. Right? And just because I want the truth doesn't mean I'm saying you're what happened didn't happen or that you're lying or anything. But the idea that you're trying to browbeat me into like believe all women, like people don't tell tales or one group is more is ridiculous. Like believe all black people, you wouldn't go for that, right? Believe all white men, you wouldn't go for that. Especially the women wouldn't go for that, right? This thing happened to me at work. No, no, no. Believe all white men. This executive would never do something like that. You'd be like, what? So yeah, the environment is goofy. I guess we're gonna tune this out. We've been on for 2 hours and 45 minutes. I will likely start another stream in about 20 minutes to continue playing some guitar. Um, and get more coffee for God's sakes. Just to break it up. My longest stream was 10 hours. Uh, and I started to get tired at around the 9 hour and 40 minute mark. So yeah, I love to talk to people. I love to chit chat. I hope you do well. I love to meet people. Like I said, I wish you well as long as you wish other people well. If you don't wish anybody well, I do not. Or if you wish people ill, I can't wish you well. I can't be part of that. Um, your life is important. Like I said, pick up something, learn a trade, get your homies, meet a girl. Come on, man. Get your homies, meet a girl. I may get a dog by the end of the week. Probably unlikely. What I really want to do is make a go of these podcasts, and I'll figure out a system as I go along. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by, Charles. I really appreciate you. Have a good day. Have an extraordinary day, man. I hope I see you again in the chat. Um, yeah, good conversation. I like talking to you. It was very cool. Uh, and I'm gonna check out that video that you linked us. So, all right, everyone. It's been 2 hours 45 minutes. Very little guitar practice. Sorry about that. I actually may finish up this. We did the other one on stream. I won't do another of these on stream, but I do have to cut up these little pieces. Put this little. It's not an umlaut, man. This little thing here and here, third fret, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh fret. And then have to cut up some tiny little cards and put the flats and the sharps on so we can extend our fretboard. 1, 2. How long is this thing going to be? Because I need 5 of these. So I guess we can make them fold out like an accordion, like I said. But that's still going to be about, it's going to be about this tall. So I guess, yeah, it's going to, let's put this down. It's going to be about off the floor. Man, this is going to be a good guitar thing. Off the floor, it's going to be about that high, I'm assuming. And then we'll just stick it on the wall and continue slowly learning the magic of music with the guitar. And then we will be like all the cool kids who know cool instruments and can express themselves in not a myriad of ways, but who can express themselves in one more way than we can, right? So we can all write and sing off key and talk. So that's like 3 good, like let's say singing and talking and writing, right? That's like 3 good ways to communicate. But once you know music, you get to slam all those things in together. And remember, you may have a favorite movie or 3, but you have a ton more favorite songs. You listen to music all the time. It'd be great to be a musician, right? I'm sure you have music in your head that you can hear. Well, imagine if you could write it down. Okay? And by my research, it takes about a year and a half to get good enough to do that. And that's where we're going. So please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's True S Armor. The S is for savings. Armor, ARMOR. Just like it is here. There's no E on True. And like me on Twitch, please, where it's Karma, 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 Arma, ARMA. My gamer tag, please like and subscribe there, and like and subscribe here on this half free streamer, please. That would be awesome. And I will see you likely later today, but I will definitely see you. Well, likely later today. I will definitely see you later today at the 4:00 show. Definitely, no doubt about it. Super definitely. And I may see you with an extra show before that. What is the weather out here? What's the weather? Oh, it's 81 degrees.
It's currently partly cloudy at 82 degrees.
It's not gonna rain, and it's gonna be 90. What's the humidity? Because if the humidity, we talked about the humidity yesterday. It's the idea that once it hits over like 85, 80, 85, and the humidity is about 70, it becomes hard to sweat. So people begin having all these issues with, because you need to sweat the stuff off. It's not often. Humidity is 73%. Yeah, so you won't be able to sweat this off. So you go to the beach if you can, or you shut everything down and you put on the air conditioner and you walk around in your boxers with my spray bottle. With a spray bottle. keeping it legit. But go to the beach, go out for a walk. You're supposed to sweat. Sweating is a natural, normal response. It's good that you do it. It opens up your pores and gets some of the gunk out. Just like blowing your nose gets the gunk out. Yeah, so don't, I mean, people seem to be afraid, not afraid, but kind of like sweating is the worst thing ever. It isn't. Besides, that's what, well, I'm about to say that's what showers are for, but again, California doesn't have water anymore. Uh, and New York has too much. So yeah, you guys need to figure it out. Those flooded subways, man. Those images of like the last 5 days, I would sit here going, oh my God, how I don't even know what to tell you. The water is disgusting. It can get on you and give you all kind of skin issues. And people were in it up to their like navel. Oh, I would not put my good bits anywhere near that water. God. All right. Well, I'm going to watch some D&D today because that always makes me feel good. Sci-fi fantasy goodness. I'm going to play a lot of guitar. I'm going to try and do these arts and crafts with the large guitar. I did one on stream yesterday. I'm not going to do the other on stream. The other two. I'm really going to take a run at cleaning this place up so I can better operate in it. Right? So we can, I want to say we can push that there, then put this chair here, move this. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I hate to be sexist, but like it's good to have a lady in your life because women have more women have an artsy eye than you believe than men, and they'd be better able to help me feng shui the place. All right, so that is it. It is 9:45. I guess I'm gonna do something about breakfast. Scrambled eggs, ham, eggs, and maybe grits. Cheese, eggs, and grits with sausage. Yeah, maybe a salad, because look at me. I think we're on our health kicks soon. I mean, yesterday was quite a fucking day. All right, boys and girls. Remember, if you've been here for at least 3 minutes, this counts as church. You have to be here for at least 3 minutes, though. So of the 2 hours and 50, we should make this an even 3 hours, another 8 minutes. 2 hours. Let's go to a 3-hour stream, another eight minutes. Let's go 8 minutes. If you've been here for at least 3 minutes of it, it counts as church. The money that you were gonna give, spend it on coffee for you and a homie or a loved one. Because like we said, people aren't marrying, having friends, and all that stuff needs to stop. Right? We're a human animal. We're a social creature. I want you to have friends, and trust me, your friends will introduce you to people that you may want to date or start businesses with. Or, oh, that's cold. Oh, that's good. Sweet Jesus. So, quick story. The Beatles. We all know the Beatles, great as they are. I love how they met, right? So it's a sign of intention. So I forgot who. I'm about to say Pete Townsend, but that's not the name of the guy. He took Paul McCartney to see John Lennon's band, the Quarrymen, I think the name of the band was. And they talked after the show. They talked. McCartney played a song, and Lennon was like, "You need to join this band," right? They became friends, like fast friends, like immediately. I love this story. This is how I met my homie Panic. I told him, like, I'm gonna know you forever. You're on 2 years probation, so don't fuck it up. I used to have this thing about probation. If I knew you, it took me 2 years to like kind of like trust you, because it takes about 2, like you can see people in a lot of different phases of their emotional state. But in 2 years, you've really seen every state they got. The happiness, the sadness, if it's kind of sinister. You've talked to them enough to say if they say some fucked up thing like, oh, fuck women, they don't deserve anything, or fuck black women. Well, oh, he said that thing at that party. That really set in my mind. And right? So I used to tell people this. I told my man Panic this. 24, how long have I known him? I've known him for about 25 years. And I told him the day I met him, you're a cool dude. I'm gonna know you forever, but you're on 2 years probation. And 2 years later, we were hanging out, and he reminded me that I said it. And I remembered that I said it. He was like, "Man, what you talking about?" I'm like, "Yeah." People are like, "Oh, yeah." A lot of my whole thing is trying true with myself in my head so I don't get off my own path. And right now I'm wandering in a world because all the paths look obscured. So I'm still looking for something, but it's hard to find what I'm looking for because everything is about money. Everything is like a truck stop. And I'm not trying to be in the 1970s, the American Indian sitting there with a tear rolling down his eye because someone checked something out the window, trash. It's that, man. Tis what it is. So yeah, the Quarrymen, right? So they became like friends. He asked him to join the band that day, that the day that he met him. Uh, and the rest is history, right? They they said that they would write like he would one would write a song and bring it to the other, and they would flesh the song out, and that's how they worked. Sometimes it would come to them like complete, and they go, "Hey, we're doing this. You do play this part, you play this part." And but they said they always finished the song. Every session they were super productive. They never had like, "Oh, let's stop working on them." They always finished the song, whether they used it or not. And they said uh, in the studio part of it, not the writing part of it. Hey, help me with this chorus, papa. But after we got to the studio with the song that they wanted to work, it would take them about 3 hours to like dial it in and get it right. So all the takes, all the stuff. 3 hours is not a lot. We just did 3 hours. That's not a lot of time. And these songs are like 3 minutes, right? You write you make a 3 minute song. It takes you 3 hours, and it's immortalized forever. Why do I not want to be a musician? I'm pretty sure my song, my similar song is gonna be what something. I'm trying to think of a funny, goofy name. I couldn't even think of something to finish the joke. But and yours might be the same. But the idea is you've got musical heroes. You like their music. If you played with you at the beginning, maybe you would sound like them, but then you'll find your own voice. But the whole point is this whole thing takes like a year and a half. We're not stupid people. We can do this shit, right? And then you can look up one day and go, huh, just putzing around, and all of a sudden you're like, I know these five, because most songs are like 5 chords, right? And like we've been here, we know 9 chords, right? And we're about to learn more in a song, for God's sake. I forgot the song thing, but yeah, get in it. It's a good time because we've all been to parties and clubs and the music play, and it was a good time. Now you can be the giver of the good time. Does that make sense? So we're gonna end this thing in 3 minutes. I hope you like and subscribe to all my channels. We may be back later, maybe. We'll definitely be back later at 4, but we may be back sooner than that. Because we miss you, quite frankly. We miss you. I do have chores to do though, and I really want to set up that second camera and see what happens so I can start showing you stuff. I also want to try to take a run with OBS at this HAPS thing and see what happens with that if I lose the image. Uh, but it is what it is. I mean, it's a fun thing to do. None of this is work, right? We're all trying to be musicians. No one has to be here. We want to be here. So all the stuff that we're putting in front of us is not work. It's things that we want to work on to get to where we're going. And where we're going is musicaldom. We're gonna say that's a word. Yeah, we're going to musicality wherever that is. And like I say here all the time, music is a seed, right? We're taking it, we're planting it in our soul, and we're watering it with hard work. All these chords, all this stuff, and eventually, like all talents do, the talent will grow, and then we will have music in our soul, right? A giant, and yours may be a bush or a sprig or a tree or a great redwood, right? Or hell, fucking a forest of them, depending on how you plant it and how hard you do it. And remember, your it's just music. We're not talking genre, so you can play anything, right? But we're just planting it in our soul. And maybe you'll do hip hop, maybe you'll do punk rock, maybe you'll do chamber classical music, maybe you'll get the music in your soul and then switch over to the harmonica, right? Um, you know, options once you do this. It's like driving. Once you know how to drive, you can drive anywhere, right? You can drive anything. Well, most anything. It could be a SUV and one of those tiny little Italian roadsters or whatever. But you know where you want to go, whether it's the swamp or the beach or the park or out in the open road. So you've got options, and that's what we're here. We want to give you yet another cool coping mechanism option, and that's music. And it's good to do it this way since I don't know what I'm doing, and uh, since I don't know what I'm doing about it, it's fun and everything is new. And you may know more because people have come through the chat and given me um, guitar tips, taught me power chords. Brian Giggles taught me power chords uh, on stream. So yeah, I mean, they want you to be miserable. I ask you that you're not. They want you to hate other Americans, me, because I'm not like you, or her because she's not like you. I will ask that you take a pass on that. A little discipline in yourself is always a good thing. I'm saying you need discipline, but the discipline that you could get could be cooking, could be baking, doing it every day, cooking every day this year for the family. We're not going to order out. That's nice. But some of the disciplines could be in you forever, like learning music. Um, some could be left to the world forever, like a song or a video that you shoot. If you learn video production, TV filmmaking on YouTube or here on Haps, streaming, right? You may have a voice that people really want to hear. So I'm for you making your own content and less of you consuming Hollywood content, right? Because they've been making the same things forever. You will make something different. It'll be totally new and totally unique, and maybe it'll be the thing that everybody wants. Because I want to see it. I'd rather watch some of what you guys have. I do a lot of Twitch watching and YouTube viewing anyway. I would totally like tune in to see what you got going on. And that's essentially the plan. Trying to not go crazy and learn these little things. And hopefully the little thing will get a little bigger and then a little bigger. And your little talent that you nurture will be a giant fucking rock and roll dragon, and you can ride it along on your, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about big ideas from little acorns grow kind of thing. And to let you know that you can do it, and don't just be happy to watch TV and have them tell you who you should not like, whether you're a Republican and they're Democrats, or whether you're a Democrat and they're Republican, whether they're conservative. You know who's doing wrong, and there's a lot of wrong on both sides of this thing. So no one's completely right. And going back to what I said, we have no power. We can't change it, only with our vote, and the votes are being all wonky and weird. So the one thing you do have some control over is you and what you consume. And I would suggest you consume music here with us as we learn. I want to thank all of you. 3 hours and 3 minutes. I want to thank, and we've got 5 minutes before the hour, which is 10 here in the West, on 7/11. Tonight's show is at 4. Today, 7. Show is at 7. You can do it with a little discipline and a little support. You're in charge of the discipline, and I'm in charge of the support. And I really support you. Even though I don't know you personally, I do. I think people doing art. I support people I don't know all the time. I support fucking Kanye West. I support his music. I support Dave Chappelle. I support his stand-up, right? I may not buy his music. I support Kanye West. I'm not buying his politics. I support, who else do I support? I don't watch a lot of sports, I guess. But there's people that music I like and I absorb and I'll buy. But then they'll talk other stuff and I just ignore that. Like, I don't care who your celebrity is dating. I don't really care. But if they've got a good song or a good movie, I'm there for you. And that's the way you should be. You shouldn't like the person be absorbed in everything they do, because they don't know you. They're not your friends. And if you ran into them on the street, they would be afraid of you and call the cops. And then they get a warrant, not a warrant. What happens when you have to stay away from me? A restraining order against you. And you're like, but I like this person. I bought all your stuff. I just want you to sign my, no. So yeah, just let you and people you know be your own hero. Let the cool shit that people do that you enjoy as well make them sort of indispensable to you, but put a limit on it so they just don't give you anything, come up here telling you what politics you should have. Then you can go, no, you overstepped. I'm gonna keep you in this box where I like your music. Or maybe if you listen to it, you go, I know I like their music. It makes perfectly good sense. Only a person who thinks like this can make great music like that, right? But if they say something that you're not for, come on, seriously, right? You know what I'm saying? You're the voice that I want to hear from. All right, so that is it. It is 3:05. We are going to end the stream now, and I keep saying likely be back. Oh man, I didn't even polish off my coffee. Started out hot, then it got room temperature. Now it's sort of cold. Please, everyone, get out there. If you're on the East Coast of America, the sun is nice. It's early morning. Get out and get some. Californians, I think, might still be. Oh, they just might be beginning to wake up now. Get that coffee. I'll see you guys, and other people who are out there in the world who are not in our time zone, watching at late hours or early hours. Same thing goes for you. You don't have to be American to buy into this. Pick up an instrument. Like start your novel if you have one. Graphic novel, poetry novel, sci-fi novel, your memoir. If you're gonna write it and you're thinking about it, that is a discipline. Sitting down and somebody can read it in 100 years. I fully support you. Please do that. We here in this country, not your enemies, right? Your issue and my government has issues. Your government, my government may have issues, but I think the average people are just trying to get through the day and keep the lights on and get the kids to school and try and put food on the table. And I think I don't want to hate them is what I think, and I don't think I'm going to. Come on. We have a much cooler cult. You get to stay at your house and do it in your pajamas, right? You get to come and go as you please. You don't have to give the cult any money. All we just ask you is you get on your discipline, whatever discipline that is. We're for music and writing and stuff, but whatever discipline you get on, we're for you. All right. You are great. You are made of godly stuff, right? God made you out of clay. And if you don't believe that, you are the stuff of the cosmos. You are made of stardust, right? The same stuff as the stars, and that's fucking incredible. So either way, I don't see how you are not a consequential individual in this place who is capable of infinite cool shit. I'm good and bad though, but I like cool shit. And I hope that you concentrate on some of the cooler, good parts of it. But if you do bad shit too, you're still a consequential, great individual. You should be doing something. Hopefully not the bad stuff, the good stuff. But yeah, don't. I think they've lulled us all into sort of a laid back. Oh well, nothing's gonna happen. Not even laid back, but just kind of. I don't have any power to change it, so oh well, why am I even gonna try? And I don't think you should. Uh, you might change it with a song. You might Bill and Ted it, right? We'll see you. It's 10 a.m. exactly. We will see you at 4 p.m. Like and subscribe. I don't know you personally, but I got love for you. I'm on my hippie shit. Peace and hair grease. I'm out.